forever on the defense. But no longer.
Welcome to the stream, my friends. Hope you guys are doing well. It's back with another one. We streamed yesterday too, didn't we? Yeah, we're getting pretty hog wild here on the channel. But nonetheless, this is going to be replays from the Gran Turino Swiss League, which is currently active. We're about to wrap up the 4th week of the league, and the matches you're going to see today are matches from some of the top players in the league. So these are all players that, coming into this week, I believe were undefeated and hadn't lost a single round yet of the Swiss League. So certainly going to be some very, very high-level competition. The first match we're going to be taking a look at is between Showtime, who's been having an absolutely outstanding run, and he's going to be facing off against Lotus Moon, who of course you guys have probably seen in tournaments and Everchosens and all that sort of good stuff. So should be quite a bit of fun. From there, we have more matches. So we're going to have 3 best of 5s in total today, if I'm not mistaken. I think the one after that is going to be, yeah, let me go ahead and double check here real quick. We'll pull this bad boy up and I'll run them all through for you. So going into the custom battles, let's see what our matches are going to be for the day. Thanks again for joining. Hope you guys are all doing well, staying safe in these dire times. So I don't think everybody was undefeated that we're showing today. There's a couple folks that are like 3-1 or 2-1 before this, but nonetheless. So we have Faust facing off against Wei. Then we have Lotus Moon facing off against Showtime. And then we have Tlaxlan Soothsayer facing off against Energized. So these are all best of 5s. So certainly going to be quite a few games for you guys today. And as usual, depending on the time constraints and whatnot, we might close out the series with some dreaded free-for-alls and all that sort of good stuff. Or, you know, it depends. We'll see what the time frame looks like. Shout out to chat and shout out, hey, Bob. Appreciate that, man. I thought Bob was a cool name. The title for the stream makes me think of Turin dressed up like a grandpa. Old Gran Turin. That's pretty funny, man. Also, check out the link that Lady Turin just dropped in chat. She spent a lot of time making an awesome Lovecraftian Tzeentch piece. So you guys can see it over on the Teespring. It's quite badass for sure. So make sure to check that out. She dropped a link there. And I think we're about ready to get this party started. She's been putting in all kinds of good work lately. Will you do an FFA? Razzo, that was you yesterday? Yeah, that was a fun game. Yeah, you had the warp fire throwers. I remember. I probably will do one more FFA today. I'm not sure. It depends. If we go like really long with these replays, then maybe not, but we'll see. I know, Weeb, it's true. Everything is. Are Tomb Kings good? Yes, they are. They're a very good faction. I would say Tomb Kings are like an A tier faction. I wouldn't say they're S tier. Like, the Tomb Kings are probably one of the most balanced factions in the game, in my opinion. Like, they have the perks of being undead in that they're unbreakable and all that sort of good stuff, but on that same note, they don't have, like, Invocation of Nehek and a lot of summons in the same way that other undead do. I would say that Tomb Kings are a really balanced faction, and if you are looking to get into the game, I think Tomb Kings are one of the best DLCs to buy in conjunction with Vampire Coast, because you don't have to have multiple DLCs to get the entire roster, so you can really get that full experience, and they're both really competitive factions, both Vampire Coast as well as the Tomb Kings. Oh no, Hadries. Hadries just comes in chat, and that's a rule break. Gotta replay. Also, happy birthday. The good thing about the replay stream is that there are going to be no official replays. There's not going to be any rule breaks that'll have to be replayed. Yeah, well, you never know. Things could happen. Things could happen. But don't put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby. So let's go ahead and get ready to load into the first match. I'm going to pull up this game right now. Thanks again, guys, for joining. First match is going to be Showtime on Greenskins. And Lotus Moon, not on an elf faction actually here in the first game. He's going to be playing the dreaded Vampire Counts. We're going to be seeing Biggins, I'm sure, and some Trolls, some Mortis Engines, all sorts of neat stuff for sure. I mostly play Dwarves, so would you say Vampire Coast would be a good second army? Yeah, I think so. I think that's pretty common. Dwarf players often play Coast. You can play them the same way, more or less, but you'll get spoiled once you realize Coast has like all the artillery and mobility and monsters and like flying lords. Yeah, it'll be fun for sure. All right, so let's load into the first game. It looks like everything is all set. Here we go, and yeah, should be awesome. Yeah, Beastmen, I'm certain Beastmen they have to be getting a rework. I mean, Beastmen are just so haggard and decrepit and old. They have to be getting some love, dude. But that's not to say Beastmen are a bad faction in multiplayer. They may have a multitude of bad matchups, but in general, Beastmen struggle against undead, right? So if you put Beastmen against Vampire Counts, you put them against Tomb Kings, they really struggle horribly in those matchups. But where the Beastmen shine is against living factions. So they're pretty good against all the elves. They're good against the human factions, more or less. Like Bretonnia, they can do fine. So yeah, the Beast people do their thing. They do their thing indeed. All right, guys. And here we are. It's game one between Lotus Moon and Showtime. Showtime is going to be the greenskin player. Lotus Moon on the Vampire Counts. And for Showtime, he's got Savage Orc Biggin. So this is very much the classic post-greenskin DLC build. Basically use Savage Orc Biggins in the front line because they kill all the Vampire Count infantry more or less. They even actually trade surprisingly well with the Graveguard. I think they just have insane attack rate and also really high melee attack and weapons rank. So what's cool too is like against Cryptors and monsters, they can also put a bit of a beating on them, and they are immune to psychology while their frenzy's active. So Savage Orc Biggins, man. A couple archers in the back. It's going to be triple archer, I think, or double actually. Savage Orc Airboys are really good too because even if you summon zombies on them, they beat the zombie nation down pretty aggressively here. So those are the Savage Orc Airboys. In the back, we got Stone Trolls and Stone Trolls, and we do also have a Giant River Troll Hag in conjunction with Grom the Paunch. Yeah, and again, this is very meta, right? If they're coming in with Blood Knights and Black Knights and things like that, you countercharge them with the Stone Trolls backed up by some infantry support, like some Orc Boys, whatever. That does the trick. The arrows give you consistent pressure on flyers, Mortis Engines, things like that, and you win the infantry fight with the Savage Orc Biggins. How's it going, Anticity? Our series I actually casted separately, so it's not going to be on today's stream. It's getting its own video, so it should be quite a bit of fun. But thank you for joining. Anticity, of course, doing very well in the Swiss League as... I think you actually played Showtime, didn't you, Anticity? I think you did. You guys had a duel. And now for Lotus Moon, he's got a Lamian Vampire Lord, one of the stronger choices for sure. She's got the Seduction, which is a really good AoE buff. And on top of that, the Lamian Vampire Lord is also does have the, I think it's like lightning fast reflexes, so she can get ward save if she's getting like sniped or gooned. We've got a Mortis Engine to kill all the orcs, a couple Graveguard. Graveguard, in theory, should trade well against Savage Orc Biggins. Although I think in a vacuum, if they just go head-to-head fisticuffs with no healing, I think the Savage Orcs still win that, which is pretty crazy. We have a Scab Scraith White King here, a Necromancer cackling in the bushes, stroking his forbidden rod. and some Blood Knights. Blood Knights are always good. You know, they hit hard. What's cool about Blood Knights is they can like be a multi-purpose cav unit. You can hammer infantry with them because their shock damage is so high, and on top of that, they can wreck monsters and like trolls and all that sort of good stuff. So yeah, Showtime's a really strong player for sure. I've seen a lot of his replays. I think we casted one last week, but he's facing the Dreadlord Lotus Moon here, so we'll see. So both of these players coming into, this is week 4 of the Swiss League, and coming into week 4, both of them were undefeated. Lotus Moon was 3-0, and Showtime, I believe, was 3-0 as well. So here they come. Lamian Vampire Lord going to be dropping some breath attacks down the pipe, or at least looking like it wants to. A Spirit Leech coming out from the Giant River Troll Hag does a little bit of topical damage, nothing to write home about. But Lotus Moon, of course, most elf players I found are very, very good at juking like arrows and dodging things, because they're often, you know, have a Glade Lord kind of up trying to get a Pravenoth Rama or something like that, or, you know, high elf players usually use dragons and phoenixes, so they're pretty good at juking with single entities. Certainly a lot better than myself. I think that's one of my big weaknesses in multiplayer. I got to work on that. So here comes a big breath attack down the pipe. There it goes. Nice one on the Savage Orc Biggins. That's a beaut right there. Able to take out quite a few models, almost 20 models right there. That's quite good. And able to take them down to about 60%. So really good vampire count play. You'll notice that Lotus Moon probably not moving super quick with his main army, because that buys more time for breath attacks and the cooldown to refresh. But the big Chungus himself, Grom the Paunch, is going to be moving in. Going for blood. Looking to run over some zombies here. Grom the Paunch is such a funny character. Eating a shank of meat while he runs over a zombie nonetheless. Truly a greenskin of greenskins here. But now he's on a little bit of a precarious situation. This could be a potential early game throw if Grom the Paunch gets gooned like this. But he's getting attacked by the Lamian Vampire Lord. He's going to be popping his Lucky Banner to give him 40% ward save, but he's currently, Grom the Paunch is seduced by this vampire, so that's quite an interesting situation. On the flank, good engagement for the Greenskins. The Varix Reavers do get mithered by the Hag, and now they're taking a ton of casualties from the Stone Trolls as well as the Biggins there. But back to the really important engagement. Looks like Big Chungus was able to get away, and he does also have healing, right? So it's not really the worst thing in the world. This bad boy is going to be able to heal up probably back to full health, or a pretty respectable amount of health. Another Spirit Leech going down on the Lamian Vampire Lord. Currently, the Varix Reavers on the far side are getting absolutely destroyed. But now there's going to be some witchcraft going down. Oh, is this a pendulum from the Lamian Vampire Lord? Very nice. Unexpected as well. You know, mostly it's just raised dead and invocation all day, but that pendulum did do some decent damage to the Savage Orcs, and currently the vampires are trading very well here in the front line, and a big breath attack coming in. Yeah, beautiful play here by Lotus Moon. Certainly getting some very good engagements early. Punishing Grom the Paunch, breaking the Savage Orc front line, and those are two very expensive units, but in the back line it hasn't been without a price. The Varix Reavers have been punished, and also here the Blood Knights have taken a little bit of HP damage, so nothing to write home about per se, but still not bad. Over here you can see the Greenskins, the AP Loonies, were able to win their respective fight. The Necromancer took quite a bit of damage, so that bad boy certainly not in the best of shape. And honestly, it's starting to look like an even game. Both players are kind of finding their way into the comfort zone, but I would say that Lotus Moon probably has gotten slightly better engagement in the early battles here, but yeah, now the WA's coming down, and the Varix Reavers going down here is a really nice catch. They're not cheap. They're over 1,000 gold. So these Stone Trolls with the WA active are going to be having 150 weapon strength, and they are crumping the shit out of these Varix Reavers. But here comes some Blood Knights. Nice Blood Knight charge. If you could break off the Stone Trolls early in the battle like this, that would be incredibly strong. The WA, of course, does give them ITP, the Insane Troll Posse buff. But, oh yeah, I was talking to Lady Turn about doing an Insane Troll Posse piece today for the channel, which I think would be really, really good. Savage Orc Biggins are moving in, Grom the Paunch coming, and the Stone Troll stabilizing here is actually super important, because if the Stone Troll's broke, it takes away one of the big hard hitters for the Greenskins. And yeah, Grom the Paunch is able to come in. I think he might have used his AoE buff. It looks like an invocation is going down on the Blood Knights here, who really took the worst end of that trade there for sure. Back in the center pocket, really surprised these Stone Trolls are holding as well as they are. They're like surrounded by Mortis Engines, and they're poisoned. Shit's getting pretty wild for them. Looks like these Trolls here are also holding. Their leadership is at 516. Scabscraith going down there. Does go down the pipe of the Savage Orc Biggins, and Grom the Paunch holding like an absolute beast. We did see this in the single faction tournament the other day. We saw that Vicious Satsuma was able to actually trade very well in duelist situations with Grom the Paunch. You know, he's got good general melee attack for a chariot. He regenerates. He has an amazing charge bonus. Grom the Paunch, I think, is probably one of the best Greenskin Lords, hands down. He is just such a disruptive, annoying, hard to snipe presence. And historically, in the metagame for the Greenskins, one of the biggest weaknesses of them was the fact that all their lords and characters were relatively easy to snipe, and it happened quite often. Like, if you would have a Wurzag here, you know, he'd probably be dead to this Lamian Lord by now, but Grom is just elusive. Balance bar is very even. Greenskins winning the high ground engagements here. Orc Boys and AP Loonies piling in. Stone Trolls are here, and I think the other Stone Trolls have come back, because Lotus doesn't have any Fellbats or Direwolves or anything to really chase off these Stone Trolls here. So yeah, they're going to be coming back in. That Mortis Engine is still going, though. Mortis Engine's a big problem, but the one thing that I'm a little bit concerned about here for the Vampire counts is the fact that their buffering is almost gone. The Stearnsmen are kind of their last fighting boys here. Aside from that, the little crypt ghouls are crumbling down. I would imagine Lotus, being the savvy tournament player he is banking some summons in the back pocket to really give him some late game cycle charging potential. But in this case, Grom the Paunch takes it like an absolute champion, despite being seduced. You know, he prefers his piece of meat over the Lamian Vampire Lord there. It's going to be running away. Lucky Banner, the Grey Duns is here. Nice buffs going down. And it looks like the Greenskin might actually be getting back into this game in a pretty solid way. It's been an incredible scrap so far. We have the Grey Duns, again, giving the nice base damage and melee attack, so these Stone Trolls are rocking some serious melee attack despite being seduced. And the Archers are also shooting freely, which is a big problem for Lotus Moon. 2 Archers just cross-firing into either the Mortis Engine or the Lamian Vampire Lord. It's a lot of stopping power for sure. And here comes the Lamian Vampire Lord getting away. You're jumping out of the forest. Obviously, he doesn't really want to fight in this tree line here because it will be penalized and get stuck against the trees. So I think you want to take those engagements. I think all the breath attacks have been used. Maybe there's one more. Here it comes. Okay, so another breath attack going into what appears to be the Stone Trolls. And it does actually break them. So I wonder if Lotus is going to chase off these Stone Trolls. Now, that's the predicament, right? No mobility here. You can't chase them off. And like that would be potentially like a game-winning play, right? Both Stone Trolls are broken. If there was one Direwolf or Fellbat to chase them off, I'm pretty sure they would get karate chopped and the Greenskins would be in big trouble, but they're probably going to come back and really be a force to be reckoned with. Grom the Paunch is in big trouble here. He's wavering. He's almost broken. 12 leadership. You can see a Spirit Leech going down to the Lamian Vampire Lord and everybody's favorite lunch lady serving the sloppy joes, going after that Lamian Vampire Lord. -8 for leadership, 796. She's taking quite a beating from Thrag, the wife of Throg here. Mortis Engine still doing the work of the gods, but man oh man, Savage Orc Bigans are an excellent infantry unit. And they're sitting in that Mortis Engine, they're bumping and grinding, and they're doing some pretty good HP damage to this little pocket of vampires here. And just like we talked about, both Stone Trolls are back. Balance of power is pretty darn even at this point. Honestly, I can't really say. Lamian Vampire Lord's on death's bed, though. 1400 HP, and is also healing capped, mind you. But here comes the Lunch Lady. It looks like she's going after the Mortis Engine. Mortis Engine does have 20 melee defense against her 25 melee attack, so she should be able to get some attacks there. Now the Lamian Vampire Lord is mainly just trying to juke the arrows up in the sky, which of course is super important. A couple are hitting home, doing a little bit of damage. Stone Trolls here are broken back with 10 models. If they probably break one more time, they probably just get shattered. Grom the Paunch, just circling here, doing his thing. Dodging the Mortis Engine, trying to stay away from the Lamian Vampire Lord. And here the Giant River Troll Hag is currently going after the Corpse Cart, which is weak binding. A couple of little goblins applying poison. And talk about Value City. And yeah, the Stone Trolls, I think one is shattered because it's broken several times, and if a unit breaks too many times, it just ends up shattering and just has no chance of coming back, which is very common with Trolls. And here you can see that the Stone Trolls now moving back in. Very scary stuff. That's a lot of stopping power. Again, if they break one more time, it's probably going to be a shatter. But if they're near Grom the Paunch and have some encouragement, I mean, the Lamian Vampire Lord is in no position to make demands here. She's 677. I mean, one clubbing 50-cent club here from the Stone Trolls will probably be enough to kill that Lamian Vampire Lord. So Lotus Moon, turning it on, man. Dropping all those sick jukes while the Greenskins and Showtime rally in for one last fight here against the Vampires. That Mortis Engine certainly quite problematic still. It does cause terror and also is going to be draining down these units. But the fact that Archers are back online is really important. Because that, like I said, is keeping the Lamian Vampire Lord from landing. Like, if it lands, those Archers will probably connect. And a fair amount of those shots still are connecting. -7 leadership. Lamian Vampire Lord is actually kind of crumbling here. Yeah, -2 leadership. It's kind of going back and forth. Crumbling is 10 HP damage per second. Balance of power is razor thin. And these Stone Trolls are at 5 leadership. Like, this game is so close. All these units are barely holding on. We do have the Stearnsmen here still, too. The Stearnsmen, of course, will get killed rather quickly by Stone Trolls. But the fact that the Lamian Lord is a little bit... I mean, maybe it should just go for the land and go for, like, one big Alpha Strike instead of trying to juke. Because it lost about 600 HP trying to juke there. And it does go in and gets big damage against the Thrag here, the Lunch Lady. But, yeah, 49 leadership, or HP, excuse me. The Lamian Vampire Lord is going to be falling there. And now we got quite a scrap on our hands. It currently looks like the Vampires are still a little bit ahead on the balance of power. But the thing is what's going to happen is the Corpse Cart and the Stearnsman probably will crumble down. And then Grom the Paunch could probably deal with these characters, especially considering there were some Skulkers over here he forgot about. So 85 nasty Skulkers, the dreaded tactical reserves coming back in, of course, all intentional. Stone Trolls are shattered. Balance of power looking pretty serious here for Lotus Moon and the Vampire Counts. Will Grom the Paunch be able to pull this back? Thrag, the wife of Throg, comes back. His betrothed. They're going to be moving in. And here, the Stearnsmen are crumbling. That's got to feel pretty good. They're almost at their healing cap. Of course, Stearnsmen do heal themselves. Oh, but their leadership stabilizes. That's pretty huge. Here comes the nasty Skulkers. Showtime moving in with the Hag and Grom the Paunch as these Skulkers march their way in. I believe we have a couple Archers who've come back as well. And this is going to be the final battle for the fate of Middle-earth. Here it comes. Grom the Paunch juking out the White King, preparing to probably want to run over the Necromancer. He'll die really quickly. But the Sternsmen are still here. Man, oh man, this is going to be a tough one for the Greenskin. Savage Orcs are going to be getting into melee. Grom the Paunch being hunted by the Mortis Engine, and maybe, honestly, he's still got some healing. He could just turn around and attack this thing. We do have some Archers, too. The Archers will probably unleash their last salvos here onto the Mortis Engine. Now, Thrag and the rest of the Greenskins are going to be piling in for the final fight. The Grey Duns is here, charging into the Sternsmen. Sternsmen taking some heavy casualties from Grom the Paunch. Of course, he doesn't have the best AP on his chariot, but with the Grey Duns, it's still 500 plus on the weapon strength department. So like I said, if you can kill the Sternsmen, get rid of the buffering. I don't know if the White King is going to be enough to kill Grom the Paunch. Skulker is still fighting. I'm really surprised. You'd think they'd be terror-routed by now, but those little goblins are doing the work, man. They got that White King surrounded. They've also smoke bombed to slow down everything here, so the Mortis Engine can't really kite. And Grom the Paunch has got his big old axe, and he's just whooping here on this Mortis Engine, dropping some big blows. Negative 11 leadership. Mortis Engine is losing 10 HP per second. Almost at its healing cap. Could this be the Greenskin comeback? So here comes the giant River Troll Hag. Little Skulkers are still shanking away. And you know what? It's looking like this is going to be a Greenskin victory. The Mortis Engine is at 199, 175 leadership. Very, very close battle. The Necromancer, his Forbidden Rod, will not save him today. And it looks like the Mortis Engine is going to be going down. The little Skulkers that could, man. You see, this is what I'm talking about. Tactical reserves. Clearly the best way to play. These guys coming in the fourth quarter and providing that slow and that nice AP damage. No jokes there, man. So right now the White King is trying his best, but Grom the Paunch is like designed to kill such characters. Like he's going to be an ace there, especially since the White King is being prison shanked from so many angles by the little Skulkers. There's no more terror, there's no more summons. Grom the Paunch is going to come in and finish off this battle, and what a hard fought battle. Man, oh man. Both players really had to scrap for that one, and in the end, Showtime is going to be claiming victory there as Grom the Paunch cleaves one of his goblins to celebrate. GG, well played indeed. An awesome match here to open up today's Swiss League replay stream. Grom the Paunch probably got crazy good value. Only 1,200, but you know what? He survived. Yeah, you know, it's not always about value. It's about survival, too. Vampires also crumble, so sometimes the value can be a little bit off. Lunch Lady. 2,100 on the Lunch Lady. Skulker's got about 600, 1,000 here, and you'll see Savage Orc Biggins are just so goddamn good in this matchup. 1,700, 1,300. I mean, the ones that didn't get crumped in the beginning, they all did really well. And Archers, 2,000 value on these Savage Orc Airboys. God damn. 2,300 on Stone Trolls and 1,200 on these bad boys. Awesome game. 3,200 on the Lamian Vampire Lord, though. She wasn't messing around. She really tried to carry that army. Almost did. Mortis Engine, of course, 3,200 value on that Mortis Engine. So yeah, Lamian Lord and the Mortis Engine here. Blood Knights kind of got shut down, as did the Varix Reavers. But man, oh man, that is a serious battle there. So let's go ahead and update the scorecard. And 1-0 for Showtime in this best of 5. If this is an indication of what's to come, I'm very excited for the rest of the series. So well played to those two fine gentlemen. Two top contenders in the Gran Turino Swiss League. And now we're going to go on over to the next replay. Next replay, let's delete the first one so I don't accidentally open that again. Very good, Anakin. The next one is going to be Showtime on High Elves against Lotus Moon on Wood Elves. Ah, the dreaded elf duel. Should be quite a bit of fun. Yeah, Gran was a beast, man. I know, talk about Value City, huh? Airboys giving some archery lessons. I know Airboys are great because they can fight the zombie summons pretty well, and in late game you can use them as infantry. They're just very squishy, but typically they're fighting like zombies and shit, so it doesn't matter too much. Yeah. All right, I'm going to have a little sip of water here. Hang out with you guys for a quick moment. Thanks again for joining. I bet Grom got some serious value. Well, value is in everything. Yeah. Well, value is in everything. You would think he did, though. He looked like he was like running over the Sternsmen. I mean, killing the White King. I would have expected Grom to have like 2,000 value there at least, but I guess I was wrong. Turin, from now on, whatever race you speak of, you also have to speak in their accent. Oh, God. No, please spare me. Do you have eyes on Dark Tide by Fat Shark? Yeah, I'll play that. I'll do a couple streams. It's not going to be like a mainstay on the channel, but it'll be something that I do cover. Crazy C4, thank you for the donation. Always more DACA. Apparently so. That build is very similar to when the Greenskins first came out. I remember talking to Aerocrastic about that matchup, and he came up with a build to fight vampires that was very similar to that. It was almost identical. I think he didn't use Stone Trolls, but it was good. And yeah, I do, Andrew. Yes, I do. I put up replays from it, from my games, yeah. Grom was a beast. Man, yeah, he was. Dwarves are okay. Dwarves are a good like counter pick faction. To answer your question, Alex, I wouldn't like first pick them because they have a couple bad matchups, but dwarves are like really good against undead. And yeah, I think dwarves are fine. They wreck Empire, they wreck undead. Certainly strong. Certainly strong indeed. Ryle Alexander, hey man. No worries. Don't feel pressured to donate. I'm just happy to have you here, dude. All right, so let's load in. Let's fight this battle. Game 2. It's going to be Showtime playing the High Elves, facing off against the Wood Elves of Lotus Moon. Lotus Moon, of course, came onto the scene with his dreaded Elven play, one of the masters of Kite, but clearly his playstyle has diversified quite a bit. An amazing player all around the board. And Showtime coming in with a Shadow Warrior build. So probably the more meta way you see this is with like Dragon Prince spam and like Spearmen and Archers, but this works as well, right? So here you do have the Shadow Warriors. It looks like in total there's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those bad boys. In the back line, it's going to be two Dragon Princes and 2 Silver Helms with shields, mind you. Shields, of course, quite helpful against the Wood Elf Waywatcher Kite. Alariel the Radiant up in the sky, pretty standard. She's got Tempest and Earthblood to heal up princes and also can Tempest down dragons and flying beasties for the Wood Elves. We have a noble on horseback, and what is that thing the noble has? You don't see nobles too often these days, but he's got something. Oh, that's actually good. Sacred Incense. So that actually gives 12% missile resist. All right, that's quite nice, actually, if you're expecting to be sniped here. So this is the army here of Showtime. It's going to be Shadow Warriors backed up by Dragon Princes, backed up by Silver Helms here in the rear. So very, very cool stuff. And now if we take a look at the build here of the Wood Elves and Lotus Moon, he's going to be coming in with a Waystalker. He does also have double Waywatcher with a Glade Lord on a Dragon. So yeah, you have the Prey of Anathrema combo with the Waywatcher. It's very, very scary. Wild Hunters of Kurnus, Sisters of Thorn, a couple spears in the back, and a little bit of kiting here from the Glade Guard with the Hagbane tips. And there you have it. Shadow Warriors facing off against the Waywatchers. Shadow Warriors do have 180 range. Waywatchers have 190, so it's really not that bad for the Shadow Warriors. Shadow Warriors are also quite a bit better in melee, so if it does come down to a knockdown, drag-out fight, the end game, where the Shadow Warriors have to battle the Waywatchers' fisticuffs, the Shadow Warriors will dominate them in that sense. But again, nothing can really compare to the elite nature and sniping potential of the Waywatchers. Despite being a little bit nerfed, their accuracy factor went from 15 to 10. They're still very scary and can pretty much insta-delete things if they get, set. So, gotta be careful. So here comes the Spellsinger getting caught in the dreaded Tempest, and now there's going to be a shit ton of firepower. So that was a nice catch there by the High Elves, able to take quite a bit of HP off the Spellsinger of Life, which is really valuable when somebody has something like a dragon, right? But nonetheless, Larry also gets poked a little bit. Looks like she's taking some pot shots from the Waystalker here, so the Waystalker probably just going to sit on Larry the entire game. Oh, Prey of Anathrema going down to the Noble, and here comes the Waywatchers. Ouch, ouch, that's so much damage now. Without the incense item, it looks like the Noble probably would have died there or been very, very close to death. Here comes another volley, but it looks like this volley might not be quite as accurate. Ouch, man. Oh, that Noble just got dunked on. Certainly a very painful early loss here for the High Elves, because that Noble isn't cheap. Nobles cost probably on a horse around 1,000 gold, give or take. I don't really remember the exact pricing, but generally everything on the High Elf roster is very expensive. So very much going to be a slow push. This is going to be a game of cat and mouse. Bounce of power already Wood Elf favored with the loss of that Noble, and Larry having taken quite a bit of damage. So, yeah, we'll see. Here it comes. Shadow Warriors still dropping some shots in. Now the Waywatchers are going to be returning volleys onto the Shadow Warriors while on the flank. We do have some very loose kiting here from the Glade Riders with the Hagbane tips by Lotus Moon. Nothing too committal, but still doing a little bit of damage. I know, that's a lot of damage. It is indeed, my friends, and now the High Elves continue to advance. While Alariel the Radiant, old Larry up in the sky, taking some shots, 2275. She's going to be pulling back. She's got to be careful because the Glade Lord can sniper, the Waystalker can sniper, and they still both have a shit ton of ammo. Oh, and it looks like there's going to be a Star of Avalorn going down, but a little bit of a miss micro here by Showtime could potentially cost him quite a bit. He runs the Noble out of the aura, and like he misses a lot of the healing, and then he gets Arrow of Kurnus. Oh god, oh no, that sucks so bad. But Larry gets a lot of healing. She probably gets like half of that Star of Avalorn there, which certainly feels pretty good. But in the end, the Noble, the reason why it was cast there isn't really going to be banking. So that definitely hurts really, really bad. Shadow Warrior shooting in, getting those Glade Riders with the Hagbane tips. And it looks like Showtime and his High Elves are taking a relatively slow push up here. Got to be very cautious against the Dreadlord of Lotus Moon, who is exceptional at, this Prey of Anathrema play. Probably one of the first people I really saw do it quite a bit. Him and Zyphos were the ones that, when I really first started getting into casting tournaments and things like that, I remember seeing them being the Dark Lords of the Prey of Anathrema and, going after those characters and things like that. So Larry's, she's pushing the envelope too. She's got to watch out. Another Prey of Anathrema could come down. Yep, there it is. And now the Waywatchers are going to be shooting in, and Larry getting popped in the face. But this does give the opportunity for the Shadow Warriors to come up and screen and potentially, drop some good counterfire here on the Waywatchers. And the High Elves still have all their cab to commit too, so Larry's getting focused down, but her Eagle able to dodge a couple shots there unintentionally, it looks like. But the Waywatchers are taking some big casualties, man. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Shadow Warriors ripping into those Waywatchers. Really, really nice play there. So we will see. Here comes the main fighting, it looks like. It looks like the Wood Elves are going to be committing their infantry now. So we do have the Eternal Guard preparing to move up, it would seem. Yeah, they want it. Looks like they want it. And a little bit of fire coming from the flanks on the Glade Riders with the Hagbane tips. Perhaps going to be going into the Silver Helms here. We will see. And there goes the Shadow Warrior fire, shooting into the Sisters of Thorn. While they are pursued very heavily by Silver Helms, if the Silver Helms do get the charge, they will win that pretty handedly. But it looks like the Sisters are just going to be cackling, doing what elves do, just kiting and laughing at the in the faces of their foes as they pull back here. So here comes the Shadow Warriors moving up once again. Waywatchers ripping some volleys here into the what appears to be Dragon Princes. I think so. Doesn't look like they're shooting at the Shadow Warriors. Shadow Warriors do have loose formation, so they're not like super susceptible to being like shot by missiles and things like that. I mean, it still hurts them obviously, but the loose formation with like Huntsmen and Waystalkers and, or excuse me, Waywatchers, things like that is very strong. Larry's very damaged though, man. She's having to use Earthbloods to heal herself up, which certainly sucks. You know, maybe if she could gather with like some princes, it would be more cost effective, but using the Winds of Magic and Earthblood just to heal yourself, it's always a bad feeling for sure with Earthblood. Regrowth, on the other hand, of course, is designed for single target healing, but in this case, the Elven duel wears on. So let us know in chat, guys. What are your predictions? Do you guys think that the High Elves are going to be able to pull this one out? Or do you think that the dreaded Wood Elves, who've certainly gotten a lot of value early, are going to be winning this game? They have yet to commit their infantry. Eternal Guard are anti-large armor piercing, so certainly can hurt the Dragon Princes, but they're also very squishy against charges if they're not braced. They only have 40 armor, so you know, a good thunderous charge while they're moving or repositioning can be absolutely devastating. Now here in the back, Larry, the Radiant, is still getting shot. Looks like another Tempest is going to be going down. Might as well cast your spells while you can, because obviously a lot of damage is going down on Larry. She might not be long for this Earth. But the High Elf Cavalry are moving around. Very patient, conservative play from both players. And here comes another fat volley from all those Shadow Warriors, ripping into the Waywatchers here, and not doing as much damage as you'd really think. Dragon Princes preparing to engage. It looks like we have a cockfight here on the flanks. The Silver Helms are going to be charging into the Wild Hunters of Kurnus, backed up by Larry and Star of Avalorn, which is certainly very strong. And you can see the Wild Hunters of Kurnus are being destroyed by the High Elf charge, but Lotus Moon is going to be reprising with the Glade Lord, going to be getting a fat breath attack right down the pipe. Arrows of Kurnus going in. Larry is getting sniped so hard. Brutal stuff, and I think there's going to be a breath attack coming from that dragon. It looks like it. Spellsinger's moved in there. Sisters of Thorn have moved in there. Ooh, that was a good breath attack. Those Dragon Princes took some serious damage, but honestly, I would say that Larry did okay there. Killed the Wild Hunters, did a ton of damage against his sisters, more or less compromised the cavalry corps of the Wood Elves, but Larry appears to probably be running off the battlefield here in just a second, and there she goes. Now, while all that's happening, the Dragon Princes and Silver Helms on the other side overwhelm the flank, and they get on top of the Waywatchers, and they crump them. So both Waywatchers are more or less completely destroyed here. All the Shadow Warriors are pretty healthy, shooting into the unshielded backside here of the Winterheart Guard. But the Wood Elves are leaderless, right? Larry's gone. So this is mainly just Shadow Warriors and a couple cavalry units versus a big, scary Glade Lord Dragon. And yeah, it's going to be a really close fight. Balance of power is currently in the favor of the Hardwood, for sure. The Dragon is a huge menace. Still has a shit ton of ammo, which means Lotus Moon could probably just, you know, kite with it very efficiently. But look at this, a nice catch here. The Dragon Prince is able to lance down that Spellsinger of Life. Negative 15, 592. This Spellsinger is very unhappy about this and probably is going to be escorted off the battlefield here by the Dragon Prince chauffeur service. Bravenoth Raymond going down in the Princes, allowing the Winterheart Guard and Eternal Guard as well as some Sisters to maybe get on top of them. And it looks like there's going to be some sort of witchcraft going down. I could have sworn he's already used all his breath attacks, but anyways, breath attack going into the Princes does some okay damage. Nothing to write home about, but in the meantime, the Spellsinger of Life looks to be running off the edge of the battlefield, so we will see. Shadow Warriors in melee, kind of cool. 38, 34, 32, probably could put up a great trade against basic Eternal Guard. Like if you just attack them in the front and rear charge them in the back with Silver Helms or Dragon Princes or anything like that. And yeah, Bounce Power is looking really bad though for the High Elves as the, you know, the big scary Glade Lord up in the sky still going strong, but it's still a close battle despite that. Here comes the Dragon Princes lancing into the back there of those unbraced Eternal Guard, and just like I was talking about, look how much damage they take. They have 40 armor, they have anti-large, they have charge defense, but if they are not braced for the charge and they get, you know, hammered in the back, that's going to be a bad day for them. All these Eternal Guard too appear to be unshielded, with the exception of the Winterheart Guard, which means that the Shadow Warriors can really put some serious hurt on them with their firepower. Over here, Prince is pulling back. Certainly good. Avoid the big, scary Glade Lord. Use all of your ammunition on your Shadow Warriors. For Lotus Moon, I suppose he just needs to finish off the heavy cavalry, and you know, and then from there, the Dragon should be able to deal pretty happily with the, you know, with the cavalry and things like that. Back here, though, Silverhelm's doing a great job shadowing shattering the remnants of the Way Watchers. Looks like they're going to be chasing off these ones, and then from there's a very isolated Waystalker, and Silverhelms are actually surprisingly decent in combat. Even without their martial prowess, they still have 34 and 30, so quite a bit better in the stat department compared to their Empire Knight equivalent. So here they come, something in between like Reiksguard and Empire Knight. Silverhelms have their lances couched, going to be going into that Waystalker. He's going to be quite surrounded. Honestly, the Waystalker would probably die to the Shadow Warriors too in sustained melee combat. Over here we have Shadow Warriors piling in, trying to wear down the Winterheart Guard. There are 27 of those bad boys, and some of the Eternal Guard here are chasing, and it would appear that the Dragon Princes are preparing to come in for that fat erect charge. Looks like they brace, but they're kind of facing the wrong way. Then they unbrace, and ouchies, that's going to hurt. Taking massive casualties on the charge. Probably going to test their leadership as well, although the dragon is nearby, giving that encouragement. But yeah, they're holding pretty well. Shadow Warriors in combat, fighting to the bitter end against their Elvish cousins, and it looks like these Shadow Warriors do have them outmatched and outnumbered. Winterheart Guard, of course, have great stats, are unbreakable, but Shadow Warriors, you can see, are really getting a lot of the better trades here. And yeah, taking down these Winterheart Guard. How many do we have left? Only 6. That is, a lot of High Elf infantry. It's really cool to actually see unit like Shadow Warriors be useful in melee, right? And see that like extra cost you're paying for come into play. Now the Waystalker, I think over here is, yeah, he's in Mortal Kombat. He was surrounded by the Silverhelms. Some Eternal Guard do come and save him, but now the Shadow Warriors are going to be piling in with 50 models. They break the Eternal Guard, and from here that will signal the beacon to Gondor, and the Silverhelms will be turning around and probably riding down the Waystalker here and doing some pretty solid damage. Honestly, could this be a High Elf comeback? I mean, the High Elves are really running out of resources, and I don't know how many Shadow Warriors that dragon can take. Certainly can do some damage. Dragon Princes are broken, but probably will come back and finish off these Eternal Guard. And in accordance with rules, of course, if the only thing that Lotus Moon has left is that Glade Lord, he's just going to have to dive into combat and fight. He can't run circles around the map and kite, aka Total War Warhammer 1 style, which you used to see in ladders, and sometimes in early tournaments too, which was pretty haggard. So the Waystalker here at -28, he's going to break, and then the Eternal Guard here probably going to break as well. I would definitely probably chase down that Waystalker. Make sure to shatter him off. Although you can see the cavalry are now going back. These Eternal Guard are being escorted off, and look at the Belts of Power. Are the dreaded Shadow Warriors going to pull this game back? It looks like they might. Look at the Bounce of Power creep, and Lotus Moon trying to unify with his forces, but now that all he has left are single entities, and he's realizing everything's broken, although technically the Eternal Guard are back, he's going to be diving into combat to fight here. And the Shadow Warriors are going to be swarming. 40 melee defense here on the Glade Lord. It looks like the Dragon Princes are going to be charging in one last time before they go. 5 leadership, only 3 of them left. Pretty heroic units. And the Glade Lord is taking a lot of damage. I mean, how much melee defense does it have? Only 40. So the Shadow Warriors with close to 40 melee attack should be making some pretty consistent connections. And yeah, you know what? Everything shattered for Lotus Moon. The Waystalker is being escorted off the battlefield here by the Silverhelms, and you can see the big Glade Lord trying to bounce out and get after these Shadow Warriors right here. So if it's the last thing left, you're like kind of allowed to bounce around. You just can't like cycle charge basically. So the Glade Lord getting dragged down by the Shadow Warriors. Every little shank is adding up. Balance of Power is now in the favor of High Elves. Now in this situation, guys, you do not want to have your Shadow Warriors all blobbed up and engaged. Sending it a couple at a time is fine, but what Showtime is doing here is really, really solid play. He's leaving some Shadow Warriors to rest, regain their vigor, and also not be as susceptible to like splash attacks and things like that. It's just a good thing to practice because there's not really any point in like blobbing up on all these different units, right? So the Glade Lord is shaken and stirred down to 1300. I honestly think the High Elf, the dreaded Shadow Warrior blob, is going to be winning this. They're all out of ammo, but Lotus Moon's Dragon is in really dire shape, losing a ton of HP, and big monsters don't like being surrounded. And that is going to be GG, a High Elf victory. I really thought he was going to lose that game. After his Noble died, Larry died. Things were looking pretty grim bones. But in the end, the High Elves claimed victory. So I'm really curious about the Shadow Warrior value. Let's take a look at these. 1500, 1200, 1300, 14, and 13. Beautiful Shadow Warrior play. Like all those guys paid for themselves. Like I think they cost like 700 or 800. I can't remember. So yeah, they all clearly did well. 1200, 900. Like everything in this High Elf army, with the exception of one Dragon Prince and the Noble, like paid for itself over, which is great. But yeah, Lotus Moon did a really good job sniping the Noble, a good job sniping Larry. But in the end, he didn't really have the answer for the Heavy Cavalry. The Heavy Cavalry outmuscled his Wild Hunters and then were able to run down the Way Watchers. You guys saw the Way Watchers die. That was like a huge deciding moment, despite the fact that it happened while the Wood Elves were in a commanding position. And yeah, it was a beautiful game. Beautiful game indeed. A good comeback. Yes, I agree. Dude, the Swiss League has been producing so many good games. It's awesome. What I really like about it too is there's a lot of players like that you don't see play in tournaments because of their schedules. You know, they may work weekends and things like that, but they're really top tier players, right? But in the Swiss League, since it's played offline and you have like a week and a half to get your games done, a lot of these guys are getting reps in, and it's really, really fun to see. Yeah, to make smug High Elf sounds, yeah. Yeah, that was a good game. The High Elves did win it, yeah, but it's best of 5. We're going to go on to the next one here in just a minute. As far as the value goes for the Wood Elves, 3,900 on this dragon. Damn, son, look at that. Yeah, that's really solid. Holy shit. Oh, man, look at this freaking Waystalker. God damn, dude. 2,900 value on that. 3,900 on the Dragon Lord. The Waywatchers, of course, did pretty well, but, I mean, everything else certainly didn't carry its weight. But, yeah, damn. I can't remember the last time I saw a Waystalker do that much damage. I guess the Arrows of Kurnus were really good at sniping the Noble, and it was just shooting Larry the entire game. That is insane value there. Yeah. Yeah, Larry paid the price, but the trade was that the Dragon Princes killed the Waywatchers, and that was big. They still had a lot of ammo, too. How's it going, Survivor Clone? Hold on, I got you, man. You hang tight. All right, Survivor, I got you. You've been updated. Thanks for joining. Yeah, that was some masterful play for sure. So now we go to the next match in this best of 5. Will the dreaded Lotus Moon pull the series back? The next game is going to be, let's pull it up here. Make sure we're in the proper order. I don't want to jump ahead. Okay, we saw High Elves versus Wood Elves. And now we have Showtime on the Sons of Sigmar facing off against Lotus Moon's High Elves. Very cool. Very cool indeed. Yeah, that Waystalker got so much damage. Crazy stuff. Hey, pleasure to have you here. So, you know, this is a matchup where you often do actually see the Hellstorms, which is really fun. I'm pretty curious about this. All right, so let's go ahead, pull this bad boy up, load into the match. Lotus Moon is on the ropes. If Showtime wins this, the series is indeed over. So let's go to the Flash Tournament battle scorecards here. There you go. And take a look at this Empire army. But first, I'm going to have a little sip of water here. Ah, delicious, delicious stuff. What are your thoughts on Mortar Wagons versus Dawi? Terrible. Yeah, unfortunately. Because Dwarven Cannon is just going to pound it. If you're playing against Dwarves, honestly, your probably best bet is to go like 5 Great Swords. I like Marcus. Marcus, a Life Caster. 3 Hellstorm rocket batteries and like maybe some like Empire Knights or something. That's your best bet. It's a terrible matchup. Terrible matchup. Anyways, here for the Empire, it's going to be Swordsman. It looks like Sigmar Sons in the middle. Karl Franz up in the sky. We do also have a Jade Wizard on the ground, backed up by double Demi with Lances, which is pretty meta against Dark Elves and High Elves. You see it quite a bit. The Sunmaker in the back. Now, a lot of people might think this is a meme, but in this matchup, the Sunmaker is actually not bad because it severely outranges the bolt throwers, right? It can also shoot up and over hills, so you just like hide it right here and drop consistent bombardments, which is awesome. So that appears to be it for this Empire army. Double Cav with double Demi, Franz, State Troopers, and the Sunmaker. Very cool. Yeah, there's not really any matchups in which the Mortar Wagons are good. Like, Mortar Wagons are more or less like terrible across the board, which is a little bit unfortunate. By the way, guys, before we continue, how is the quality on the stream? Is it looking a little like pixelated? Is the stream quality good? When I'm seeing it here, let me see what. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. On my feed that I'm seeing my own stream, I have the settings turned on very low, so that's why it looks bad. But let me know if there's any issues. No, I meant jump ahead into other games, Nick, because I have a ton of best of 5s today. All right, so now for the High Elves, we have Shadow Warriors. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be 2 of those bad boys. Shadow Warriors against Empire, interesting. So if there's like Pistoliers and Outriders, they give you some really good counter skirmishing. And honestly, if there's Handgunners, they counter Handgunners too, which is quite cool. We have Alariel the Radiant, but what I really like about this Elven build is he does have a Mage of Fire. So the Mage of Fire is going to be able to drop some fat fireballs onto the Sunmaker, right? Overcast them at a range, snipe the artillery, because with just Larry, there would be no answer here against the Sunmaker. But in this case, quality is good. Hey, thank you guys. Thank you, appreciate it. Yeah, it's as good as my internet will allow. I have some potato internet here in LA, so that's that. So we got a Mage of Fire and a Star Dragon against Empire. Certainly a little bit off meta. Star Dragon, of course, is very vulnerable against, focus fire, artillery, things like that. But, if you can fireball snipe their artillery, then the Stun Dragon or Star Dragon can run rampant. We got Dragon Princes here. We got Spearmen, all sorts of good stuff, and some Eagle Claw Bolt Throwers. So it should be fun. Let's get this party started. Sunmaker doesn't have any targets yet. Lotus Moon doing a good job kind of pulling back here and just trying to stay out of range of the Sunmaker while his Mage of Fire comes in and snipes it. So again, for anyone joining, it is Lotus Moon on the High Elves, and Showtime is currently up 2-0 here on the Sons of Sigmar with a very cool build. I've been seeing a lot of Hellstorm rocket batteries in this matchup. So Star Dragon and Alariel the Radiant are coming in. It looks like a Fireball is going to be overcasted, but the Demogryph Knights are going to pull up, which is an awesome play. So he's pulling the Demis in front of it, and you can see that one Demogryph Knight sacrifices its valiant life to protect the Sunmaker, which I thought was an outstanding next level big brain play right there. So very cool stuff. Yeah, Shadow Warriors are pretty cool. They have some applications for sure, especially if you like to play that kind of kite style of play. But yeah, neat stuff indeed. Demogryph Knight still screening out the Sunmaker there with the MLG big brain blocks, as they say. A little bit unfortunate too for the Empire armies. There's no like handgunners or silver bullets to keep the High Elves from kind of flying over their army. The only anti-air they really have is the Sunmaker and Franz himself. Franz fighting a Star Dragon is a tall order. He does have healing, of course, but with Galmaraz and Reikland Runefang pops. So another Fireball coming in. Here it comes, and it looks like the Demis did not block it, and Fireball is able to kill one of the Sunmaker pieces. So this Sunmaker is destroyed here. So now there's only 2 pieces shooting, which certainly hurts, right? And Lotus Moon is just kind of staying out of range with the rest of his army while his Shadow Warriors and his monsters kind of lurk here, forcing the Empire to come forward there. That brave knight, I know, big balls of fire. That guy was a true hero of Sigmar. So Franz pulling away, being hunted 2v1 up in the sky, and this is, like I said, the problem with no handgunners and nothing on the ground, no pistoliers, outriders to really support you, and another Fireball is coming in. Fireball is a very short cooldown, so this is really painful. Sunmaker costs 1,800, and it's losing all of its value here, and the balance of power is going to start shifting heavily into the favor of the High Elves. Now, Showtime has been, in both the previous games, has been relatively behind, right, and has been able to scrap back. In the Greenskin versus Vampire Count game, he clawed his way back, and also in the last game, he was relatively, behind with Larry and all that stuff, and has been able to do well. So I think at this point, a good call here going to be abandoning the Sunmaker, because it's pretty much just a doomed investment here. And now Larry and the Dragon are going to be pushing in and buttering the bread there of the Sunmaker. So it gets one volley off, though, damages some spearmen, so at least it did something there. Able to do some work, and Shadow Warriors shooting into the Empire Knights. The poor Sunmaker in the back is in some big trouble. So here comes Karl Franz moving up, State Troopers moving up. Currently here, a little bit of a decent engagement, actually, as Showtime able to get back on the board by capturing the Mage of Fire and actually killing it outright. So the Demogryph Knights with Lances just destroying that Mage of Fire incredibly quick. Out here we have Empire Knights fighting Dragon Princes, a very one-sided fight. The stat differential is pretty massive in the defensive capabilities of the Dragon Prince, considering it does have physical resist and just better stats across the board. But this could be a really good engagement. If you can get these Dragon Princes plus that Firecaster, I think that's a really good start at getting back into the game here for Showtime. So here it comes. Demogryph Knights charging in, hammering into those High Elf Cavalry, and the Dragon Prince is now probably going to be going down. Now, this side a little bit unsupported, of course. Obviously, Franz and company are on the other side, and these Demogryph Knights, honestly, I might even just like start pulling this direction, abandon this whole area in general, and just try and focus on this Bolt Thrower and work your way across. But the Star Dragon lurking above, looking like it wants to fight, but the Spearmen, of course, underneath it are going to be preventing that. So Empire Knight's going to be charging into Dragon Princes, not going to do too much damage, and taking a blob fight here probably will potentially lose Showtime the game, because by taking this fight, you're opening up the Dragon Breath attacks, Larry's going to be healing, and yeah, just like that, you can see the Star Dragon turning around and winding up a Breath attack, and thankfully, though, for the Empire, that Breath attack was not, it didn't hit anything. It hit like one Demogryph Knight on the edge of the formation, which always sucks. So here the Empire Knights are chasing down Dragon Princes. I would imagine that the other Bolt Thrower might get taken off by some State Troopers here, and we do have a bit of a blob fight. But like I said, I think that the Empire probably still had a pretty decent chance in this game, but that engagement there is going to cost them quite a bit. Engaging without Franz, engaging without your support, and now the Demis with Lances are coming back. Other ones might come back, and mind you, there still is healing. We'll see if the State Troopers and the Empire Knights can finish off that Bolt Thrower in the distance. Shadow Warriors were engaged in melee combat with the Spearmen with shields, and yeah, they were able to beat them down pretty handedly, man. Shadow Warriors in melee combat, no joke. We saw them win last game. Doing some work for sure. So Spearmen fighting here, Stand Your Ground, and the Reikland Runefang are indeed active. Karl Franz, Galmaraz, and Reikland Runefang still going as well. We'll see what happens. Look at the Franz, man. He's doing it. Star of Avalorn going down as well. That is big. Going to be healing the Princes, the Star Dragon, plus Larry, and also some probably basic High Elf Spearmen that we're seeing there. Another big issue, though, is that despite the Shadow Warriors not having great AP, still the volume of fire really does hurt against like Demogryph Knights and things like that. Though the Lance Demis are shielded, so they're going to be a little bit more durable than the Halberd variant. One of the reasons why you see Lance Demis against Dark Elves as well as High Elves is for that reason. So Franz is trying. Balance of power is still a little bit Heil favored. Here in the back, though, we got Swordsmen moving in to fight Shadow Warriors again. We've seen how this has gone in the past. 40, 36, 32. The Swordsmen should trade well, considering they have 30 more models than the Shadow Warriors, but Shadow Warriors will put a pretty big dent in those guys. So Franz charging in once again, going after the Princes. Lance Demis moving their way back. Showtime has more or less been fighting without 1,800 gold this entire battle, losing that Hellstorm rocket battery, which is pretty crazy. Franz looking for some fights, man. He's got to be careful of that dragon wanting to get a big breath attack. And oh, the Franz gets bathed in fire. He partially dodges it, but that's still a lot of damage. And now Larry and the dragon probably going to be piling in to really put some serious hurt on him. Yeah, and Franz is in trouble. Looks like there's going to be a regrowth coming down, or an Earthblood. I think it's a regrowth. But I don't think that's going to be enough to save the Franz. Him and his mullet going to have to go back to Altdorf. You know he has a mullet under that helmet. 1392 being chased down, and I think that might be the death knell here for the Empire here. The brave Empire Knights. 16 models jumping on top of the bolt thrower. Certainly a nice shutdown here. Spearmen with the shields are still fighting too, but Franz being hunted down like this really hurts. And now the dragon going to be going for the fresh meat here. The Jade Wizard on its horse, Radagast, is going to be trying his best to fight, but certainly is not going to be up to the task of fighting the dreaded Star Dragon. Pretty close to army losses. The fact that Showtime has gotten the bolt throwers offline, I think, is the one saving grace here. But Demi's shattering on the far side, and Franz really struggling to get away here. However, he probably turns around and is like, wait a second. That's just Larry, but that is going to be the end of the game, as the Jade Wizard died and either triggered army losses or the Empire did withdraw. So really, the deciding factor was the Hellstorm rocket battery. It did nothing, right? Got fireball sniped, and that was GG. Like the build, Showtime's build was very much like, let's use the Hellstorm, force the Elves to come to me, countercharge with my aggressive cavalry and prosper. But in the end, the Hellstorm was not able to do it. No way Carl has a mullet. That's Norskin propaganda, says Felcon. Yeah. Business in the front, party in the back. Hell yeah, dude. All day. Yeah, Lotus Moon with a very cool tech. Bringing the Fireball Caster, I think, won him the game. It was really good. Dragon Princess did good. Star Dragon, what's crazy is every single game in the series, we've seen either a Star Dragon or like some sort of a dragon doing huge value. Like 3,000 on this dragon is no joke. Then the Wood Elf Dragon last game had like 4,000 value. Like, it's been crazy. I know a lot of people like to dump on dragons, but apparently they still have some teeth. Franz with only 400 value, that hurts bad. That hurts really bad. He's a character that needs to pay for himself, or he needs to get in there and punch things. And 1,000 on Demis and 600 here. And that is that. Carl is a come-over kind of guy? No way. No way, dude. Come on. He rocks a power mullet under there. All right, guys. So let's update the scoreboard. Lotus Moon is back on the menu, boys. It's got one win here. Showtime still up 2-1. So depending on the next game, we will see if we go to the rubber match. Let's do it, my friends. Franz didn't bring enough mustache. Yeah, he's not a mustache guy. No. Franz would look really weird with a mustache. Like, looking at his portrait right now, I'm like, oh, that'd be strange to see that. It's like seeing your dad, who either has a mustache or a beard, like shaving it when you're young. Did you guys ever have that happen? When you were a wee lad or a wee lass, and your dad had a mustache your entire life or a beard, and then suddenly, like, one day he just like shaves it when you're like 10 years old, and it's like traumatic. Yeah, it would be kind of like that, seeing Franz with the stash. You need some Sigmarines? No. Yeah, I definitely think the Empire build needs at least the silver bullets, because yeah, Shadow Warriors will kill them, but you don't advance with them. You keep them back and like use them as a deterrent. And then you can advance them once your Empire Heavy Cavalry is able to swarm onto the Shadow Warriors and things like that. So yeah, Franz might be a buzzcut kind of guy. It's hard to say. But in reality, like, all jokes aside, Franz probably just has like black hair with like, a very traditional style. Yeah. Huntsmen are cool too. Christian Anderson says your dad had a Burt Reynolds mustache and he shaved it. Yeah, that's some stuff. No, my dad looks nothing like Karl Franz. I can assure you. My dad shaved off his stash, and my mom says, grow it back or we're getting divorced. That is a powerful mustache, dude. Yeah. I've never heard of, like, whenever I grow a mustache, Lady Turin is like, kill it with fire. But hearing the reverse of like someone, like a wife or a partner, wanting the mustache, that's something. That's truly a powerful mustache. Yeah, for one Sunmaker, you could get 3 mortars. I agree with you 100%. That works fine too. Mortars are pretty good against elves. On the other note, you can also do a rush against them. You can like do a build like what Showtime had, but just bring like just bring like more width and just more cavalry and just try and press them. Free company, huh? Flying Dutchman says, apparently young me was terrified when my dad actually got a beard when he lost his razors on vacation. Yeah, the Sunmaker thing was kind of doomed. All right, so let's go into the next game. To say the least, Showtime played very well considering the circumstances. Like, fighting down with without an asset, which is not only your like main strategy piece, but yeah, it was some good play. All right, cool. What's up, guys? Getting the next battle ready. So the next battle between Lotus Moon and Showtime, which is going to be game 4. Lotus needs to win this. If he does, it takes it to a rubber match. Is going to be Showtime on Bretonnia and Lotus Moon on Skaven, which is interesting because Lotus Moon's actual name in this game is Skaven equal balanced ... not. So clearly he's playing the Skaven despite his disdain for them. Yeah. There you go. Sunmaker OP, I know. I know, man. I've been watching this Cops show, so you guys remember Cops from the 90s? Like, you know, bad boys, what you gonna do when they come for you? You know, all that good stuff. I've been watching a more modern version of it, which takes place in Canada. So what's really funny is I think the episodes were filmed in like their 2000s because a lot of the technology that the criminals often have on them is like a or it's like a 2005 cell phone type thing or 2008. But like 80% of the criminals on that show have mullets. It's like, and they're wearing jean jackets with mullets. It's so trippy. Yeah. Why is it called Swiss League? Because Swiss is the term for a format here. Yeah. All right, guys, and here we are. The Bretonnians, who are going to be led by Showtime, coming in hot with a ton of knights. So he's got Knights of the Realm, he's got Knights Errant, just a shit ton of cavalry, which is very, very Bretonnian. Yeah, so it's just Knights Errant, Knights of the Realm, I would imagine. Knights of the Realm are excellent against Skaven. And that's it. His main battle line is going to be Peasant Mobs and Men-at-Arms, backed by Fey Enchantress and the Green Knight. Ooh, a little bit risky against Skaven. If they do bring the Skrulk man, he can die almost instantly, but Green Knight without Skrulk, this guy can be an absolute terror. Yeah, very, very cool stuff indeed. Very, very cool stuff. And now, my friends, we look over here at the Skaven army of Lotus Moon. It's going to be sharpshooters, poison wind mortars. We have a warp lightning cannon in the back, rat ogres all over the battlefield, and it's going to be Throt the Unclean, the big Chungus rat, teamed up here with the Plague Priest on the ground. So warp lightning cannon probably going to have its sights trained on the Green Knight for the majority of this battle, but we will see. So let us know in chat, who are you guys rooting for? Lotus Moon and the dreaded Skaven, or the Bretonnian hordes? Gilles is here, Bretonnia, the lady, all that sort of good stuff. Let us know who you're pulling for. So, in the scope of the tournament, if Lotus Moon wins this game, it will be going to Game 5. If the game is won by Showtime and the sons and daughters of Bretonnia, we'll be going to, well, the series will be ended, and we'll be going to the next game. So mortars coming in. What I like about this Bretonnian build is it's very similar in principle about how the Greenskins have been playing this matchup. Don't bring any good infantry. No battle pilgrims, nothing. Give them men-at-arms. Even if the mortars kill the entire Bretonnian infantry corps, that is probably like 2,000 gold. Like everything, right? So that's very, very strong. Chris says, we love the jean jackets and mullets, yeah. Where was Turin when the Westfold fell? You know, I'm a little bit rough on my Lord of the Rings lore, but, you know, I would imagine Gondor had its own problems, right? You know, during those times. But yeah, I love that meme. It's so funny. I mean, it has become a meme, right? So Warp Lightning Cannon still blasting away on the Green Knight. So far, it's connected once. And you can see that the Green Knight is down to about 2,700. And right now, the Green Knight and company are just attacking some Clan Rat summons, trying to buffer those guys off. And I can tell you, even though I think this matchup is slightly Skaven favored, I do feel like it's very stressful to play from the Skaven perspective when like a massive concave of erect, angry Bretonnian knights are like surrounding you. It's very, very stressful for sure. I can see those little rats kind of shaking in their rat boots that they wear. Green Knight here getting pounded, but looks like a little bit of healing coming in. So far, the Warp Lightning Cannon. It's kind of cool, too, because like the cannon's focusing the Green Knight, which makes healing it easy because he doesn't lose models, right? So instead of the Warp Lightning Cannon shooting the cavalry, it's like it's just shooting Green Knight, which isn't like removing damage from the battlefield like it would be by shooting cavalry. Kind of an interesting theory. So here comes Knights of the Realm. They're charging into Clan Rat Spears, just getting super hog wild here, not giving any shits about the Skaven army, just getting in there, man. Fey Enchantress, I would imagine, going to be coming over here, but Green Knight getting popped in the face super hard. Man, oh man, he is in bad shape, and that is certainly very, very nice for Skaven. So here comes more Knights of the Realm. We really need Fey Enchantress in here. Fey Enchantress's aura would be incredibly powerful, but here, Throt the Unclean is going to be dropping some Rat Ogre summons on top of the Knights. Mortars are shooting in, but the Mortars are doing a fair amount of friendly fire, actually hitting the Clan Rats too, hitting the Rat Ogres, and, you know, it ain't for free, man. Some more Bretonnia Knights hammering into the defenses. Knights of the Realm going into Clan Rat Spears, but also sitting maybe a little bit too long. It looks like those Knights are going to be pulling back now. The Warp Grinder waiting in the back. Mortars and everything is shooting. And currently, it would appear Lotus Moon is once again in a very, very commanding position here early in the game. Fey Enchantress, though, has got to move in, try and help out, drop her Mortis Engine effect. Here you can see some Spearmen at arms going to be advancing in. Those Clan Rat Spears across the board appear to be holding very well, but so far the Skaven have done some very, very devastating damage, and it looks like this Warp Grinder should be able to bump and grind here. Oh, no, they miss it, and the Knights of the Realm get, like, right out of the aura. Ouchies, man. That means that this opening here is very available, and you can see the Knights of the Realm are going to be trying to path through. There are some Rat Ogres on top of them, trying to really hunt those guys down, but this is a very, very messy fight. Not because players are microing bad or anything, but it just tends to be that way when there's a ton of infantry and models fighting. Both armies, 1900 and 1400. It's the Peasant Tide versus the Bretonnian Tide. Fey Enchantress, though, doing great work, draining the Clan Rats, and once these Skaven lines start to buckle, the Knights of the Realm are going to be trying their best to move in on top of the mortars and the Jezzails and all that other good stuff. And now that the Warp Grinders have blown their load, the Knights Errant going to be moving into the Clan Rats and Clan Rat Spears. A lot of rough trades that the Bretonnians are kind of being forced to take, but here we have a nice engagement. We have Knights of the Realm and some Men-at-Arms taking out the Pit Fighters of Hell's Deep. And there is a juicy Skaven backline here. I mean, we have the Warp Lightning Cannon, we have Natty Buboes, we have Poison Wind Mortars. And if these Ogres fall, oh man, that's going to be a lot of pressure that the Bretonnians can put onto that line. And like when this dies, so too will the Skaven balance of power. That is why it's good right now for the Skaven. But if one unit slips their pickle in there, it's going to be a bad time. Yeah, Green Knight not happy at all. Here though, the Pit Fighters are broken down. Fey Enchantress, of course, still being an absolute linebacker, draining and healing and causing problems all over the battlefield. And now there are some cavalry here. So there's some Men-at-Arms back here. The mortar teams are taking some damage. You can see these Grail Guardians, mind you. I didn't notice we had Grail Guardians here, but the Grail Guardians, with the favor of the Fae, are starting to really dismantle the Skaven back line as they cut through the Poison Wind Mortars, eviscerate their HP. And now that the Warp Lightning Cannon is going to be the next prey as the brave Knights of the Realm charge in. Lance is couched. They're going to be hammering into those Ikid Zap Zap cannons and the Warp Grinders, and Fey Enchantress is certainly quite hyped about this. And yeah, that's the problem. Like, forcing this into a blob fight, those Skaven are good in blob fights. They don't have a Mortis Engine effect, and the Bretonnians do. So, with Fey Enchantress, of course. So maybe getting Throt to try and assassinate Fey Enchantress could be a strong play here. But yeah, look at that. The Ikid Zap Zap Cannon and the Warp Grinders are all offline. And the Bretonnians still have a lot of cavalry on the battlefield, and the Fey Enchantress. I would imagine that this is going to devolve into a blob fight that the Skaven do not want at all. Skaven monsters hate being surrounded. They have pretty poor leadership. The Ikid Zap Zap Cannon is shattered. Throt the Unclean is surrounded by what appears to be Knights of the Realm, which is, of course, not a good trade for him with their anti-large. And it looks like Bretonnia is taking over this game. We have a couple of Pit Fighters coming back, but they're going to be charged down by the brave Sons of Bretonnia. The Knights Errant charging in. These aspiring Knights, yeah, they should be able to break these Ogres. Yeah, you can see some of the Rat Ogres getting lanced down there nice and good like, and they're going to be running. And Throt's surrounded, man, by Grail Guardians. There's no way those Grail Guardians are going to get worn down by Throt, like in a quick manner. It is going to be a bump and grind here. We have the Grail Guardians, Knights of the Realm, Peasant Mob saturating in. And this allows Bretonnia the opportunity to hunt everything else down. So all of the Pit Fighters and other units here are just going to be getting chased off by Bretonnia. And now it's just Throt and a blob, which he's not good at. Not without a Plague Furnace kind of supporting him or some infantry on the ground. And there you have it, man. I do not see this Skaven coming back from this one. There's just so many Bretonnian bodies on the battlefield. Fey Enchantress is still alive. I guess there are some Clan Rat Spears coming back. You know what? They're actually doing a surprisingly good job. It looks like the Grail Guardians are the last one, and I think this is the right play here for Lotus Moon. Go for a Desperation Snipe. Try and get the Fey Enchantress. It's all you really can do at this point. And here comes the Knights of the Realm. Lance's couch, baby. Charging into Throt the Unclean. You can see 3,200 on this bad boy. Remoldered is indeed active, giving him a pretty fat healing on this Chungus Rat. There's going to be more Knights heading him off, and he is relatively close to the edge of the battlefield, so Throt is not going to be long for this Earth, I would imagine. And the Plague Priest, Fey Enchantress can defeat the Plague Priest, no problem. She has crazy magic resist. He does magic damage, so she's going to be cackling all the way to the Blood Bank, Senator Trent. That's a Steven Seagal reference in case anyone missed it. And the Blood Bank. I'll take you to the Blood Bank. So good. Skaven do have some summons, but they probably used most of them early on. It looks like he does have, yeah, he's got all the summons. And Throt the Unclean, the filthy unclean one, banished by the cleanly Bretonnian Knights, perhaps the less clean Men-at-Arms, but you know, they can't all be winners. And there you go, man. Throt the Unclean trying his best. There's Spearmen-at-Arms waiting in the ranks for him. Fey Enchantress draining down these units here. I love playing Bretonnia and watching them too. Just seeing cavalry charges is probably one of the coolest things in this game. Like proper cavalry play. Ruben, thank you for the donation, man. He says, thanks for the stream. Question, if netted or warp grindered, can that unit still attack or shoot? Yeah, it can still fight back, but they're stuck in place, so they can't like pile in and fight basically. But yeah, if something's attacking them, they can still fight. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken. And there you have it. There you have it. GG. Showtime is going to be winning the series 3-0 and remaining undefeated. Despite the Green Knight not having his best performance, he only got 17 value against some clan rats. That is going to be a Bretonnian victory. Fey Enchantress got 755 value, and to be honest, Fey Enchantress is incredibly strong, one of the best swords in the entire game, but she wasn't the reason why the Skaven, or the Bretonnians, really won that. The Knight play was. The Knight pressure, the cycle charging. Look at the value on these Grail Knights. Hot damn, dude. 3,900 value on these Grail Knights. Those guys buttered some serious Skaven bread. 1,100, yeah, like the Knight value is really good. Like, it's really solid. Yeah, cool build by Showtime. I love seeing the Green Knight in action. Always fun. And for the Skaven, Throt did his best. He tried, that poor little rat. 2,100 on the Warp Lightning Cannon. So it did its job. It killed Green Knight. It paid for itself. Yeah, the Mortars, 1,200 here, not bad. But again, a lot of that's friendly fire because it does include friendly fire in that value. And yeah, the Cavalry, man, they got in there. They did it. They did it to it. Yeah, the Fey and Mortis is strong for sure. The Grail Knights, though. It's really cool seeing Grail Knights do well. So that is going to be a 3-1 victory. Well played to those two champions. Showtime is going to be remaining undefeated in the Swiss League. I think he's one of 4 players currently. Who's 4 or 6 players? I can't remember. Yeah, we'll see. The next round of Swiss League will be starting tomorrow. So these are from the previous week. Knight's putting in work. Like he could have won that game with the Prophetess of Life. Like the Fey Enchantress was there, but you know, I think he could have won just with the Cavalry. Yeah. There you have it, guys. The dreaded Green Knight doing some work. Let's load into our next match. Next match is quite a good one. Certainly a high-profile match. And let me go ahead and double-check one thing here real quick in the old Discord. Got to pull up the replays here. And perfect. Let's make sure I have the right ones. Excellent, excellent. And updating the names. You guys are going to love this series. I haven't watched the replays yet, but I know the two players are both very awesome high-level players, so it's going to be fun to watch regardless. So the next one is going to be Talaxla and Soothsayer against Energized. So these are two players who, coming into this week, were also undefeated. So this will be quite a bit of fun to watch. So let's load into this series here in just a moment and have some fun. Thanks again for joining, guys, and thank you, Ruben, Yari, and Crazy C4 for your donations. Really appreciate it, guys. All right. So game one here, it's going to be Soothsayer on the... You know, this is interesting because I hate playing Empire against Vampire counts. So I'm really going to be taking notes because I always lose that matchup. It's like one of the ones with Empire. I'm like, I have to ban Dwarves, but, you know, who do I ban next? Is it Vampire counts or, you know, I don't know. But generally speaking, yeah, it's a hard one. So it's going to be Soothsayer on the Empire facing off against the dreaded of Vampire counts, which I think is a Vampire count favored matchup. I'd say this is like a 65-35 matchup favoring the Vampire counts if I were to give it a kind of a more specific range there. But we will see, my friends. We will see. Yeah, Soothsayer versus Energized. Quite a bit of fun. Nasso, thank you for the donation. Stumbled across your work with Warhammer 2. You're doing good work keeping things lively with Warhammer 2. Thank you, man. Also, the intro I've seen used on your streams is so good to get hyped before loading up. Yeah. Hell yeah, man. Yeah, that intro is pretty metal. I watch it too. Like when I'm playing it, I'm like sitting here like watching it, which is really cool. Yeah. All right, so here we go. Let's load into the battle. We have Soothsayer versus Energized here. 2 undefeated players currently in the Swiss League. I believe you're still undefeated as well, aren't you, Falcon? I don't know if you put your replays in. I can't remember if you did them for this week. Or maybe the series, which just wasn't super competitive. All right, guys, so for Soothsayer, we have Great Swords, Sigmar Sons, Flagellants. This is like what we saw him do against Fistek in the Everchosen, except I don't think he'll be forgetting his caster this time. Volkmar the Grim, a single War Wagon. War Wagons are really good against Blood Knights. You just kind of like circle through your own ranks and just pop them consistently, so it's good value for sure. And Nasso, thank you again for the $20, man. Really means a lot. Double Demi with Halberds. You don't really need shields against Vampire counts, although some people like lances. It's kind of a preference thing. But yeah, it's going to be triple Demi, Volkmar, plus War Wagons. So triple Demis versus triple Blood Knights. That's very, very common here. Buy yourself a dinner? I will. I'll eat a glorious gourmet hot dog in your honor. And now if we take a look at the army here of Energized, he's got a Blood Dragon Lord, Helm of Discord, very common. He's got some Varghese up in the sky, Fellbats, Zombies and Skeletons front line, and triple Blood Knight. So we don't need to go too much into analysis of the army. It's triple Blood Knight with the Blood Dragon Lord. It's get blob fights with your Cav, summon zombies on their demis, Helm of Discord, live long and prosper. Yeah, Falcon. Sounds good. Sounds good. So here it comes, my friends. The dreaded Volkmar moves forward. I do think this matchup, though, is very Vampire Count favored. I know like a player like Soothsayer can make it look like it's even, but I think in the hands of the average player, the Empire is generally going to be at a disadvantage. Not like super bad, though. Like, it doesn't always warrant a ban. Like, maybe even like 45-55, but I still think like 40-60, you know. I was playing this matchup with Aerocrastic. We were like doing a ton of reps and getting a lot of games in with it, just banging it out, trying to learn it. And pretty much our conclusion was that like it's just like whoever, you know, is playing the Vampire Counts is going to be winning more consistently. Nonetheless, though, we've seen Soothsayer win it in many occasions. Many occasions. I like his army. It's a little bit more heavy metal than the army I use. Like, he uses more greatswords and more demis. I think maybe that's the mistake I've been making, is not using enough, like, heavy metal against vampires. A lot of it comes down to breath attacks. Like, if the Blood Dragon Lord can get 2 juicy breath attacks against the greatswords, you know, that's going to be extremely devastating, right? Blood Dragon Lord up in the sky, just cackling, doing its thing. Soothsayer going to be scooting up with his old wagons. I know, Nate Garrett. It's contagious, man. It's contagious. Yeah, Survivor, I agree with you. I agree. Yeah, but, you know, Volkmar the Grim is really devastating here. Like, he can pretty much solo an infinite amount of, like, haggard skeletons and zombies. And what I like about Sooth's formation is he's, like, rotating away from the, like, forcing the vampires to, like, extend around him, because they're much slower, right? So he's going to be able to get some good value against, like, the Spearmen and other chaff units while the vampire's moving. Pretty cool choice of Energized to bring Vargheists. They're really a glass cannon, but in theory, if they rear charge like demis with skeleton spear support, they could do some big damage for sure. And now you can see some skeleton spearmen are just going to be dying super quick. This is great. I mean, this is 350 gold free for Soothsayer, which has to feel pretty good. Anytime you can get little trades like that, it always is quite juicy. Blood Knights can do frontal charges. Hammering into Sigmar Sons is cost effective. Charging great swords isn't ineffective by any means. Certainly not bad. And here you can see these skeleton spearmen having a relatively bad time, but here comes the Blood Knight charge, and the Demogryphs are going to countercharge. But what most Vampire Count players will do now is summon zombies on top of your Demogryph Knights. They'll get trapped in spears. It's really like ugly and uncomfortable, but we will see. War Wagon shooting at the Blood Dragon Lord up in the sky. And yeah, you got to make sure your forces don't get like too, like Soothsayer has a nice little defensive box right now. Like, you know, nothing is terribly overextended. That's one of the more important aspects of this matchup, is making sure that doesn't happen. So far, Energized is kind of Netflix and chilling with these Blood Knights. Certainly need to get them a little bit more active if you can. But, you know, playing this blob fight, you know, honestly, vampires don't mind it. But you really need some good breath attacks. There's only one War Wagon shooting you, so I think the Blood Dragon Lord can still be cautious and not too aggressive. Soothsayer charging back with the Demogryph Knights, moving back and out against the Blood Knights, and should be able to get some damage. Oh, a really risky play here by Energized. Holy shit. And the Vargheists come in the back. I would imagine a zombie summon has to follow here to trap the Demogryph Knights in. But look at the Varghese with their big AP attacks now, getting into the demis, who do get the Grand Shield of Faith and the Grand Hammer of Sigmar. Volkmar pops over as well. That is a super ballsy play. A huge banishment going down against the skeletons and zombies here. Soulfire Bombardment being dropped. Both players just going balls deep into this one. I think that might have been a little bit too risky for Energized. He's trapped in great swords and demis. Like, he's going to be taking a bunch of work. Like, maybe going for the low-hanging fruit. Oh, look at that. Some sort of a spell. Some witchcraft being used here. A blasting scroll by that Jade Wizard, but I honestly think that engagement's going to give Soothsayer the game. I think it was very ambitious. The Blood Knights committed into a blob. Like, they should be cycle charging and doing what they were doing before and getting very patient breath attacks. But now Soothsayer is probably 100% going to win this game. That engagement was so ballsy. It was right in the center of the Empire formation, like where they had all their assets ready. And now Energized is going to be paying the ultimate troll toll here. And you can see the Vampire Count army, after committing 3 Blood Knights into a blob with Volkmar buffs and state troop support, like, that's going to be some GG probably. Yeah, I don't see that one coming back. I mean, you got the Blood Dragon Lord, but all demis are healthy at this point. They still have, you know, plenty of healing, and the War Wagons are going as well. Yeah, both players blew the load right there, that's for sure. We got some Blood Knights fighting. Blood Dragon Lord's trying its best, but it's getting wagoned down nice and good, like. Certainly not having a good time. And yeah, Volkmar the Grim is just being Volkmar, dude. He's just rolling dirty in here. Certainly a very good engagement. And, you know, it might be a little bit of a long bump and grind here, but now it's just the demis have free range. Soothsayer repositions the Demogryph Knights and countercharges the Blood Knights, keeping them from escaping. And Volkmar's still here, giving his buffs and just being an absolute troll. That was a rush of blood. It was indeed. The War Wagons You guys ready for the value on the war wagons? It's going to be over 1,000 probably. Check this shit out. Come on. Yep, 1,000 value. Just sitting there taking pot shots at that Blood Dragon Lord, paying for themselves all day, all night, baby. Little breath attack coming in, but an absolute whiff. Kills like 5 spearmen. Doesn't really do a whole lot. And that's going to more or less be game over here for the vampires, as they're rapidly going to be approaching army losses. I'll spare you guys a little bit of a grindy skeleton fight, because I haven't seen the series, but I can tell you when a game's over, and that one is over 100%. GG, well played. That was a blast scroll, I know. Let's see what kind of damage he did. Yeah, 500, not bad. Yeah, it's a good build by Sooth. That's like an old classic, right? Just one ranged unit to obey the attacking rules and poke a flyer, and then Sooth there used to use silver bullets here, but he got the better engagement. He collapsed, his Demogryph Knight spanked, and yeah, that's the thing with Varghese. You got to be careful. They still almost got 1,000 value, but yeah, the Blood Knights all got like trapped there. It was just a disaster. Well played, though. Well played. It's a good scrap. It's a hard matchup, and that's that. War Wagons are actually really good against cavalry. They're great against Bretonnia, good against vampires, decent against High Elves sometimes. Not so much. I don't like them too much against High Elves, but did I mean High Elves? No, I meant something else. I meant Lizardmen. Yes. Yes, and there you have it. The Empire food truck build is OP. Yeah, the food truck, the War Wagon. Great Swords, of course, did their piece. Demogryph Knights got great value. Blood Knights kind of got shut down. They didn't get good trade, so you got to be really patient with that one. Usually you can outgrind them in the end, but with the vampires. But yeah, GG, well played. That's game 1. Let's update the scoreboard. It's going to be going to the Dark Lord Soothsayer. And now, my friends, we shall load on to game 2 between these two fine gentlemen. What will the matchup be? I would imagine Soothsayer was picking first, because a lot of people will pick vampires against empire as a counter pick. And I bet you Sooth just, in best of 5, you only get 1 ban. So he probably went Empire and banned Dwarves and then got counterpicked with Vampires. So winning the first counterpick matchup has got to feel pretty good for Soothsayer. It's certainly a big demoralizing play. So, sec. All right, cool. Now we're going to be moving on to game 2, which is Energized on Lizardmen. So he is a Lizardman main. So Energized probably picked Lizardmen, must have been something, I don't know what. And Soothsayer counterpicked with Tomb Kings, and Tomb Kings do historically have a bit of an advantage here, but that's not to say you can't win it. We just saw the Empire do well, right, against Vampire Count, so clearly it's possible. There's a couple matchups that are super one-sided, like super one-sided, like Dwarves Empire, things like that. Chaos Vampire Counts is pretty bad. But, you know, these ones are still, you know, the 60-40 matchups can still easily be won by someone who's really proficient with the faction, which is one of the coolest aspects of the game in general. So let's load in. All right, guys. Let's do it to it. I'm going to take a quick pause and grab some water from the kitchen, and we'll get this party started in just a hot moment. That's some good H2O, man. That's some delicious H2O. All right, so for Soothsayer, who's going to be on the Tomb Kings, look at this. Is he writing something, or is this just, what the hell is going on over here? Some weird symmetry. Oh my god, look at this, guys. This is something that I think I've seen from like Fistek and some other folks in the past, where they have these like really weird formations to give less surface area. Or is he trying to write like QSA or something? I don't know. You guys in chat will have to let me know. But the dreaded Soothsayer formation, followed up here by Grand Hierophant Katep. We got a couple of Shopti Great Bows, Skeleton Horseman Archers, the Sphinx here to fight the big dinos, Necrotect, but in my experience, Great Bows are the biggest winners in this matchup. They're just so goddamn annoying. Carrion, Grand Hierophant Katep on his DJ booth. Going to be dropping some sweet beats by Darude, Katep Storm. And that is it. Double Necrotect, of course, going to be dropping heals and providing anti-infantry against Saracen Skinks. Very cool build here by Soothsayer. And now for the forces of the Lizard people. We got Red Crested Skink, Saurus Warriors into the sunset. We got a Manticore Summoner. We got old Krokgar with the Hand of the Gods. Ooh, Katep, you better watch out. You better pray, baby. That Hand of the Gods is coming for you. We got a Feral Stego, and on the back, Energized has Pterodon Riders and double Pterodon Rider here. And that appears to be it for this build. So here they come. It's aliens, is that what you're writing? I've definitely seen this on Ancient Aliens. Oh, that's so funny, dude. I love it. Ancient Tomb Kings formation, I know. Ancient Civilizations. I love when you go to like History Channel, you're like, oh, let's learn some history, and then suddenly it's like Ancient Aliens, conspiracy theories. It's so funny. Yeah, great stuff. Good old television. So here it comes, man. The Lizard people are advancing. Shopti Great Bows ripping some nice shots. Chariots are going to be a really annoying disruption tool too, because Krokgar's a little bit far back, so these Necrotechs could potentially hammer into the SARS, get some free kills, and then Tokyo drift away from that Feral Stegodon. So if you're looking for the podcast with Falcon, it went up a couple days ago, and you can find it here on the YouTube channel. And there's also links if you want to download the podcast and just listen to it. So, yep. Casket of Souls still dropping some fat beats by Darude. And getting some really good work in, actually. Able to rampage the Feral Stegodon with the Ushabti Grapos. But now you can see that the Ushabti Grapo is going to be pulling back. Yeah, you know, if I saw a formation like this, I would actually be confused. I'd be like, what is happening? Is my opponent, like, doing... Especially when it's against someone like Soothsayer, who's, you know, arguably one of the best players of all time in this game, right? To do something like this, I'd be really, really confused. Man, look at the Hand of the Gods! Holy shit! That almost one-shotted this guy! This Necrotect is down to 1,000 HP. He just almost got one-shotted. Krokgar, man. Footgar. Well, it's not Footgar, but Krokgar's back on the menu. Beautiful rock drop right there. Look at that. The Pterodons dropping some serious damage there on those skeletons. Beautiful stuff. And that really is a staple of a lot of good Lizardmen players, being like really good at rock drops, because it's pretty hard to dodge, actually, especially with slow skeletons. Here comes another one, I think. He looks like he wants to do it, but nope. It looks like Soothsayer is going to be dodging that one. And now we have this... I hate these icons. God, it's so annoying. Like, get out of here. I know it's there. Oh my god, Kontep is being feasted on. He needs to get out of there, dude. The big Sphinx is going after Krokgar, trying to fend him off, but Kontep's curse is already active, and now Soothsayer is going to be committing Skeleton Horseman out of pure desperation, because DJ Kontep is getting hammered here. Ushabti Grapos, of course, shooting in, doing some decent damage. Both Necrotechs are, or at least one of them, is in really bad shape, but Krokgar is just going Super Saiyan this game, man. Super Saiyan indeed. Here you can see the Necrotech's going to be pulling back. Ushabti Grapos pouring some good fire. This could certainly be a good way for the Tomb Kings to get back here. Dropping that Great Bow Fire into the old Krokgar, but he's got the swiftness of Itzel, and that's going to help him get a little bit more mobility to escape the big Sphinx. And now you can see the annoying Pterodons probably just going to be sitting overhead of this army, and yeah, that's a good call. Just get all 4 Pterodons, just shoot at Kontep, get rid of the magic, get rid of the casket, get rid of your leadership, right? But here comes another Stegodon. Stegodon's going to be piling in and ramming DJ Kontep. Kontep has taken some big old damage right there from those darts. You can see it's starting to add up. Manticore Summon to the back being used to disrupt the Ushabti Grapo, and, you know, a big problem for the Tomb Kings here is that their chariots are in dire straits, and on top of that, the Lizard Infantry will dominate the Tomb Kings infantry, right? Skeleton Spearmen, Skeleton Warriors are not going to stand up to the 50+ weapon strength there of those Saurus. Another Manticore Summon being used, Ushabti Grapos are being crowded in, which really, really hurts. DJ Kontep trying to get away with Nero's Incantation of Protection, but, you know, those little darts, man, look at it. That HP is adding up. They're taking some work. Drop your Tomb Kings emojis if you have them in chat. And, yeah, Kontep's in trouble, man. That Manticore going in. Some beautiful Lizardman play here by Energize, showing that he truly is a Lizardman specialist as well. We've, of course, had him in Faction Wars, and he's done very well, and one of the few players out there who probably would consider himself a Lizardman main. And, of course, the Dark Lord Falcon here in chat is as well. But, real Manticore, man. Beating down those Ushabti Grapos. And these other Ushabti here probably going to be in trouble, as well as the little Pterodons that could are sitting above them. Krokgar still in great shape, which is also a big problem. Crocky G is probably has another Hand of the Gods, which I don't think we've seen the second one. Kontep is down for the count. The Necrotech somehow from the early game is still alive. Really nice play here by Soothsayer, though, able to respond and finish off that Feral Stego. But I feel like there's too many Lizard Infantry. Like, even if he kills all the Lizardmen dinosaurs, I feel like the scaly bodies here will be drowning the Tomb Kings in just numbers. Yeah, we'll see. So there goes the Feral Stegodon. That bad boy is going to be getting chased down. You can see the Feral Manticore is hunting down the Necrotech, trying to get bad boy. Krokgar thinking about this engagement, but I think the smart play, and I think what Energize is doing correctly, is going after the weaker assets first before committing to this big balls deep fight. Oh, Krokgar's coming for you. Whenever I see Krokgar chasing, it always reminds me of that song by DMX, X gonna give it to you, but Krok won't give it to you. But Krok's coming in there, and he could certainly kill this Necrotech pretty quickly, but Energize also has to be careful not to get isolated and trapped by a Ushabti summon and by the Sphinx out here. But Krokgar does pop the swiftness of Itzel here to give him 36% speed. That is one speedy T-Rex. This bad boy does have how much speed? Yeah, it looks like 102 right now, so he's like faster than Missile Cavalry, which is hilarious. He's just pulling back, man. Just letting his infantry bump and grind. Here you can see the Pterodons have absolutely swarmed. Check this shit out, man. Yep, Ushabti Grapo is getting dragged down. Looks like even the Feral Stegodon came back to the party. Krokgar just cackling and T-Rex and kiting this Skeleton Horseman Archer back here who's crumbling down and is now down for the count. So, yeah, Lizardmen just seem to have too much left, although Balance of Power is kind of creeping back a little bit. And just for the record, I haven't seen this series yet, so I don't know the outcome of any of these matches. Sphinx getting in there. Yeah, he's terror-routing some of those Saurus, but there's still, what, 75 Saurus here, Feral Stego here. 81 cohort of Sotek, which is going to be an absolute pain in the ass to get rid of. Also, you have to remember that there is Gnushopti summon on the battlefield, which of course, when that disappears, the balance of power will ebb and flow back into the favor of old Krokgar. But this is smart. Really good conservative Lizardmen play here from Energized. Methodically picking off all the support, which then allows the anti-large monster to be surrounded and just dragged down by a million skinks with their little lumberjack axes. They're trying, man. So here it comes. The Sphinx moving in. Got to be going after the Feral Stego. Looks like he's trying to get those claws, yeah. Hand of the Gods! Round 2, baby! Oh, man! That Necrotect gets blasted into the Age of Sigmar. He is now an Ossiarch Bone Reaper. Poor thing. And he is down for the count. And that is it. GG. Oh, look at this one, Saurus. He's saved. Talk about saved by the bell. How did this guy end up here? Hold on, let's get a real look at that. Hey, look how happy he is, little guy. He's all right. He'll be fine. It's not like there's some giant devastating beast who tossed him up in the air. Oh my god, that's so funny. I've never quite caught something like this. He's celebrating the victory. Look at him. Look how happy that little face is. All right, we'll have a sip of water here while we watch this. How's it going, Rubber Duck of War? Hope you're doing well. GG, a beautiful display of Lizardman play. Clearly this lizard here is going to be bringing it in for us here. Yeah, that was really fun. Look at him, he's all smiling. He's like, oh, this is great. Pretty good. All right, Krokgar value. That's the one thing you guys are all looking for. So Krokgar value, he's got 2,300 on Krok. Honestly, mostly just from the Hand of the Gods. And yeah, aside from that, like the Saurus just grinded down the infantry. Stegodon did great, and yeah, it was just a solid performance. Really, the beautiful rock drops and Pterodon play, that was super cool too. Yeah, he was just celebrating. He was doing a backflip. This is fine. Kotep got shut down super hard. Both Chariots did. Ushopi Great Bows got okay value, but more or less, yeah, the rock drops, the infantry swarm, Krokgar sniping, beautiful stuff. Yeah, that was awesome, man. That little guy is just happy. I know. Jolly dude. So now we're 1-1, guys. We got a series on our hands. Soothsayer Energized. 2 top-tier tournament players going fisticuffs here in the Gran Turino Swiss League. So let's go over to the intro graphic and load into Game 3. Did you guys lose sound? Let me know. If you did, I probably accidentally hit a button, which is one of my curses here on the channel. I'm just like always doing it. And now for Game 3 between Soothsayer and Energized. We have the Warriors of Chaos versus Bretonnia. Ooh, I love this matchup. It's a fun one. I'm sure Sooth will have Faye. Faye is very strong here. Anyone who brings... Krokgar is actually good. Like, Krokgar is not bad at all. That Hand of the Gods ability can win you games. It's pretty crazy. Yeah, Chariot character with fire weakness takes so much damage. Yeah. Shem's Burning Gaze, Fireballs, Hand of the Chads, says Felcon. All very good against those, which I agree. Sound is back? Okay, cool. So now we will load in. We have Bretonnia versus Warriors of Chaos here in Game 3 in this best of 5. So Soothsayer going with a very traditional Bretonnian army. Fae, Double Paladin, Questing Knights. Right? That's the way. I'm loading in right now, so we'll switch back in just a second. Did we have the Gelts? Did we have Gelts in the Legendary Lore Tournament? Yeah, he's being played by Dob Plays. Yes. All right, so let's load into the battle, my friends. Thank you all for joining once again. I know we've had a lot of streams lately, so hopefully it's not too much for you guys. But oh, you want the Gelt speech? If Gelt appears, I'll press the Gelt speech button. Yeah, 100%. So for the sons and daughters of Bretonnia, and the only daughter being the Fae Enchantress, it's Peasant Mobs, Cheap Infantry, and Questing Knights. That's all you really need to know. Yeah. Peasant Mobs, Spearmen at Arms, couple Peasant Archers, a bunch of Questing Knights for their AP, because against Chaos Infantry and Chaos Knights, it's very strong. And we do also have Fae Enchantress, Double Paladin, which is just an obscenely powerful combination. It's very, very good. And that's it. And now for the Hordes of Chaos, we have Chaos Halberds Band, which is also very strong here. We have a couple Marauders on the flanks, and any Elite Infantry? No, just Marauders, Marauder Horsemen, Dragon, Ogre, Shaggoth, Summoners of Rage, plenty of Anti-Large. And the Warp Chicken. Warp Chicken, of course, has Final Transmutation that appears to be it, with some Hounds in the back, and Marauder Horsemen for some skirmishing and diving. And let's see how this battle unfolds. So let us know your predictions in chat. Are you going to be pulling for Soothsayer and the Bretonnians, or Energized and the Minions of the Dark Gods, who are going to be led by the Herald of Tzeentch here, the Warp Chicken? He's doing it, man. Do you have to have all DLCs? No, absolutely not. Just get the DLCs for the factions you like to play. Or, you know, get Tomb Kings and Vampire Coast, and then you have 2 full factions, and you're good to go. You are good to go. So here comes some firepower. The Marauder Horsemen throwing their javelins into the Fae Enchantress, who's able to very aptly dodge those shots. Chaos a little bit spread out. That's my only concern. Usually I feel like Chaos should be a little bit tighter in this matchup so the Bretonnian cavalry can't pick apart your flanks and things like that. So, yeah. Hard to say. Hard to say indeed. Yeah, the Fey Enchantress is the only lady here, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think there's anything else, Bone. Oh, the lady. Chaos advancing with their halberds. Halberds, like I said, have gotten buffed recently. Certainly quite good. Even the great Aerocrastic has been using them in the Vampire Coast matchup to very good success as well, which I really like. So here it comes. Peasant mobs moving up. Good play here by Soothsayer. So if you guys can kind of see what he's doing here, he's pulling into like tighter. He has a Mortis engine, his opponent doesn't. So pulling the fight into a blob is really going to be good for him. And yeah, Chaos is still just moving, man. They're bumping and grinding. Those Chaos Marauders getting ready to attack the Peasant mobs. Marauder Horsemen definitely should start focusing down Questing Knights. That's a really good value. Even without the AP, you can still do a lot of damage to such units. The Summoners of Rage should be able to defeat a single unit of Questing Knights quite handily. They're a very expensive elite unit. And also the one thing that Fey Enchantress has to watch out for, though she has really good magic resist, the Paladins do not. So getting a big final transmutation on a double Paladin Questing Knight, like, oh my god. Right here, dude. Drop the base. There's 2 Questing Knights here. There's Fey Enchantress. They're all like kind of trapped up here. That would be really nice. But now he's able to get away, so the moment has kind of passed. But in that situation, that could have been very valuable for sure. So Peasant mobs are breaking down. We do have the Summoners of Rage in the back, and they are certainly summoning some rage on these Questing Knights and just beating the shit out of these guys. Looks like Warp Chicken's going to be using a final transmutation here, which I don't think at this point is the best call, especially an overcasted one, because it hits Fey Enchantress, which is cool and all, but ooh, and she takes a big club to the face. Fey Enchantress has really good magic resist, but nonetheless, the Shaggoth is making it worth it. More Bretonnian Knights popping in. These are the companions, but Warp Chicken is there. Summoners of Rage still fighting very, very efficiently. Paladins here. The one thing that's probably going to cost Chaos this engagement is the fact that they don't have ground support. Maybe detaching some halberds and moving them over here because, yeah, the Chaos monsters are not going to enjoy being surrounded. However, Energized does have the Marauder Horsemen here, and they're getting some really nice peppering into the back of the companions. And, yeah, Warp Chicken, I think that final transmutation was a little bit early, but it's okay. So nice healing going down by the Fae, able to heal up the companions. Summoners of Rage are starting to waver, but they do get the stand or die here from the Warp Chicken, which is going to keep them going. Dragon Ogre Shaggoth doing some good work as well. Of course, the Chaos Warrior Halberds grinding down Knights of the Realm and the Paladins. So Soothsayer leaving those Knights in combat a little bit too long. Now we have some diving here. Marauder Horsemen diving into the Peasant Archer lines, which is certainly nice. Summoners of Rage popping Chain Lightning over here before they break, it would appear, but I don't think it's going to hit anything. But shutting down the Peasant Archer line, certainly very, very valuable. But this fight continues to rage on, but like I said, without ground support, Bretonnia probably will eventually win this, considering they have healing and attrition. But the Questing Knights are getting low. This Paladin's certainly low. I think you might even have to commit some Marauder Horsemen or something here. Although the Shaggoth seems to be doing alright, and the Chaos Warrior Halberds are winning their respective engagements across the battlefield, but having them just fight Spearmen at Arms doesn't feel good. This Paladin does die in this blob fight, so it looks like he didn't stick with his lady, and he is going to be getting grinded down. This is better for Chaos here, because they have Halberds nearby. If those Halberds can move in and he gets like a second final transmutation or something, I think that would actually be really good. But there's Marauders here and whatnot. So Peasant Archers are more or less shut down, although it looks like they have pulled back at this point, maybe due to the resurgence of some Knights of the Realm trying to chase them off. But Chaos does seem to be in a pretty good position. It's a close fight. Mortis Engine effect here will be very good. It's going to be draining down the Chaos Warrior Halberds, but that Dragon Ogre Shaggoth, man, he must have gotten some really good value so far. Let's check him out. I mean, he put some hurt on things. Yeah, 2,100 on the Dragon Ogre. It's already paid for itself. And yeah, he's putting some big beatings on the Fey Enchantress. The Peasant Archers in the back, though, are the one thing that's actually really hurting him quite a bit. But if Fey Enchantress gets killed here, or at least, you know, softened up, that would be very nice going into the late game. Marauder Horseman being pushed into these Archers. He really needs to shut down these Archers. Those things are just doing so much work against him. And here comes the Chaos Marauders charging in relatively quick. They have 35 speed by infantry standards. And the Dragon Ogre is probably down for the count. He's got less than 300 HP and is not happy at all about this engagement. Warp Chicken versus Fey Enchantress is very much a wet noodle contest. They both have magic resist, so that is going to be a relatively haggard engagement to say the least. But the Halberd support might be able to do it. We got some Summoners of Rage. There's a fair amount of Horsemen. Paladin here, of course. Ooh, a big final transmutation going down again. Able to nail that Paladin. The second one, of course, running into the aura, which means he's probably going to take 1 or 2 ticks from it, which might be enough to finish him. Oh, looks like that one Paladin is broken. Warp Chicken is having problems, for sure. Fey Enchantress is getting halberded down. She's taking some damage as well. Balance of Power is a little bit Chaos favored, as there's a shit ton of Chaos Halberds on the battlefield. But the problem is, if Fey Enchantress is alive in the late game with enough peasants, she can pretty much kill an insurmountable, just an immeasurable amount of infantry with her Mortis Engine effect. But Warp Chicken can certainly cycle charge her. It doesn't hit hard, but might be enough to tickle the pickle here. These Chaos Warrior Halberds starting to get worn down, but not before they drag down Questing Knights. And it looks like all the Peasant Archers of Soothsayer are going to be in mass exodus. So being hunted down by the marauders that were chasing them and also by the horsemen. Marauder horsemen might even be able to break that paladin there, which is certainly value city. And that's going to be a victory for the Dark Gods. Yeah, the halberds and Shagus and Warp Chicken able to do it. Fey Enchantress breaking here, and the archers being broken, and all the cavalry more or less dead. So very well played. A nice battle there by Energized. Despite getting a suboptimal final transmutation in the beginning, he still pulled the game out. So very, very good on him. Shaggy did good. 2,400 value. Beautiful value on that Shaggoth. Here we do also have 2,400 on the Summoners, and Warp Chicken got 13, so that's nice. And the halberds, of course, were all alive and healthy. Yeah, great game. Well played, man. For Soothsayer, I think his paladins needed to stay more with the Fey Enchantress, and also a couple of his cavalry units kind of got stuck in sustained combat with halberds. It's very tough to micro all that stuff for sure, while avoiding final transmutations and protecting your characters. But it was a good game. Well played to both players. Soothsayer, of course, always an ace, and Energized playing a great game too. Eledron, thank you for the $20 donation. Hell yeah, brother. Thanks for all your hard work. Hey, you got it, man. You got it. Thank you, dude. I salute you. So very well played, and let us go ahead and update the scorecard here. Energized is going to go up 2-1 in this best of 5. If he wins the next game, the series will indeed be closed out. And that'd be something. That'd be something, all right. So let's go ahead and go to the intro graphic. Block the screen while we load into the next one. Not enough peasants. He brought 5 peasant mobs. It's a handful of peasants, that's for sure. All right. And let's delete this. And now, here in game 4, we have Energized on Greenskins and Soothsayer on the Skaven. The dreaded Skaven. What about Gelt saying they will never move again? Yeah, it's pretty badass for sure. Are you talking about like a button on the channel? Last, the peasants shall be added to the skeleton hordes of Khmer. Yeah, for sure. You'll find them on Ancient Aliens being excavated by some guy with messed up hair. Pretty great. So here we have the Greenskins versus the Skaven. Let's load into the battle. It is going to be Soothsayer on the Skaven facing off against... yeah, this appears to be a pretty similar build to like what we saw Falcon using in, I believe it was my son Herbert Walker's tournament in the finals. Because, you know, I've always felt that this is a Skaven-favored matchup, but then, you know, kind of the school of thought of bringing cheap, shitty goblins who don't care about mortar and poison, and then just bringing stone trolls and Grom and stuff is very, very strong. So basically, the Greenskins here have a whole battle line of Orc Boys and Goblins, triple stone troll, Grom to punch, and a shit ton of Spider Riders, which are probably one of the best units on the entire roster. It was my big mistake when I used to play Greenskins that I just never used them. But they're incredibly powerful, really good at melee with their poison, and of course, pretty proficient at shooting their little haggard bows. So... top of that, we got Goblin, Wolf Rider, Archers all across the board, all sorts of stuff. And here in the trees, we have some Durkit Squighoppers hidden, which is very, very cool indeed. And now if we take a look at the army of Soothsayer, very cool. Getting to see Plague Claw Catapult. So 2 Plague Claw Catapults, 1 Poison Wind Mortar. We do also have a Gracier Plague. We have a Packmaster. We have a couple Ogres. A very unorthodox build. I can't remember the last time I saw Plague Claw Catapults being used. But nonetheless, if Soothsayer's doing it, there's got to be some witchcraft going to it. Falcon in chat saying, do you know that Soothsayer is a real-life Slan and that he can move mountains with his mind? I believe it. He is quite a prolific player and an awesome guy as well. Really, really good dude. Spirit Leech about to start poking those Poison Wind Mortars. Very strong. It's one of the best ways to get rid of them. You just overcast a couple Spirit Leeches and harass them with your Energized wants to do here. It's hard to say, but yeah, Soothsayer's formation not being pressured too hard. Durkit Squighoppers hiding in the trees, and now the Greenskins kind of get the memo. They're like, okay, we got to move up, man. We got to push. We got to do some damage. We got to butter some bread. So here comes the Giant River Troll Hag. Another Spirit Leech going down on to the Poison Wind Mortar teams. Quite nice for... All right, I think we're back. That was very strange. No, bad internet. Bad. Come on, fight it. Fight it. I can see it trying its hardest. Aha! I think we're back. Foul Witchcraft is tainted. It's a good thing since it's a replay, I can just pause the game unlike a live tournament. So, yeah, let's just hang tight for a minute. We'll be back and, I know, Pwn. You can hear me. Good, Anakin, good. All right, so let's hang tight for a minute. Let everything, make sure it's all smooth, and we'll continue this battle. You guys didn't miss too much. Classic American Stone Age internet. I know, dude. Tell me about it. It's the worst. It's like you live in like a state which is like home to like some of the biggest tech companies in the world, like, and then you just have like dog shit internet. It's so weird. Yeah, we're good. It just like was a blip for like a minute or so here. My internet is too weak, dude. I think it's good. Yeah, I think it's good too. Let me go ahead and just double check. Yeah, it looks fine. It's being a little fickle. I can see it kind of like it wants to be problematic, but dude, I pay for the best possible internet you can get in my area. That's the sad part about all this. All right. So, just to kind of recatch you guys up on the battle, the greenskin battle lines are just starting to reach the Skaven. Hold on, it's giving me these like warnings. Okay, I'm just making sure. Yeah, perfect. So the greenskins are just starting to reach the battle lines, and yeah, things are about to get messy. There was a clan rat summon, which was used to kind of muck up the advance here, and let's see what happens. So the battle's back underway. Plague Claw catapults still shooting in. They won't do too much damage against the stone trolls, which are probably the biggest issue. The best unit against the stone trolls in this army probably is going to be the rat ogres, so probably Energized here, who is playing the greenskins. His best bet is going to be focusing down the rat ogres and things like that, so we will see. Stone trolls moving in, and the Skaven lines are starting to buckle, but Soothsayer has really good buffering. Like, you'll notice there was like multiple layers before his back line, so he's trying his best to drag the greenskins through the mud here, so we will see. Oh, that's funny. Oh my god. Yeah, catapults are actually shooting into the trolls, which is really funny. Something I don't know if I've ever seen before, but I mean, technically they do have good AP, and they do magic damage too, though, so the stone trolls will be getting some pretty good resistances against them. I really think that Energized probably needs to be more aggressive and push in here and go after the Goblin Wolf Rider archers, and maybe really try and shut these guys down. Oh no, is it crashing again? Panic again? Okay, hold on. One sec here. Is it crashing? Are you guys are you taunting me? Why is it my bitrate? That might actually be YouTube. If you guys can hear me, this may actually be YouTube also. Because my net seems stable. No, bad YouTube. Let's refresh this. Yeah, this one might actually be YouTube, guys. Because my internet here is not showing any drops at all at the moment. Yeah, I just paused the game for now. Well, YouTube's headquarters is in California too, so I mean, if there's internet problems in the state, I mean, you know. Yeah, same audio, but the game is frozen. I have the game paused right now because I'm just waiting for this to pass. Yeah, let's actually give it a good proper minute here, so we'll just hang tight. It's a shame. This has been a good game so far. Very unorthodox build, but it's all right. You know, it's not the end of the world. Is this the real life? YouTube just asked how it was doing today. Tell it it's doing terribly. Because my internet did crash the first time, but this time it's showed no blips at all in my feed, so we're just going to let it chill for a minute. You think it's because it's inauguration day? Quite a few websites are going down. Interesting. God, I wish I had good internet. That's my only concern about the area we're potentially moving to. I don't know how good the internet it is there, but I mean, anything's got to be better than LA. It's just this friggin' shit, like overwhelmed internet infrastructure that's like friggin' probably from the 1940s. I know that's not possible, right, guys? I'm just joking, but yeah. What's the least played faction besides Beastmen? Oh, I don't know. I don't see a lot of Lizardmen play, honestly. All right. It appears to be okay. I'm going to attempt to finish this game. Ride out and meet them. And, yeah, okay. I'm not seeing any drops. So, yeah, Rat Ogres here are now being used to intercept the Stone Trolls. And Stone Trolls, of course, are somewhat armored. And the Rat Ogres got some good punch there, especially on the charge. Rat Ogres have a nice charge bonus of 50 compared to Trolls who only have one of 34. So, Ogres certainly pack quite a bit of shock damage. Poison Wind Mortars, despite the Spirit Leech is still going, but the blob fight here is really the epicenter of combat. The Grey Seer is giving the Unholy Clamor, which gives nice leadership. Of course, it's worn off now, and the Giant River Troll Hag using aspect of the Dread Knight here on the Greenskin army to give terror, and also makes him immune to terror, which is very cool. But both catapults are still shooting, man. It's a pretty damn close game right now. It looks like these Skaven might be a little bit ahead in the balance of power, hard to say. Yeah, he really needs to get back here with these Forest Goblin Spider Riders. Because there has been a couple openings. I mean, obviously, Soothsayer might be able to get these ogres back, but like both catapults here, that's like 2,000 gold waiting to just be thrown into the bank now. And now you can see some Spider Riders are finally moving back there. They should be able to shut down that catapult. And oh no, not the dreaded tactical reserves. Oh god. So he must have forgotten about the Dirked Squighoppers like the entire game. Also on top of that, there appear to be some Forest Goblin Spider Riders who maybe overchase something off. So those are little things that in a game versus someone like Soothsayer can certainly cost you the game, but still very close. Blob fight here is actually going surprisingly well for the Skaven with the Packmaster, and the Rat Ogre is kind of supporting, but it looks like, yeah, the Greenskins should eventually win that considering. Spider Riders charging into Ogres, and now you can see that the Forest Goblin Spider Rider Archers were forced back by the Gutter Runners. Gutter Runners, of course, not slouches in melee, 26-28 with Poison. They also throw their ranged attacks, and both catapults are still shooting here into the later stages of the game. Balance of power ever so slightly in the favor of the Dark Lord Soothsayer here. Soothsayer, of course, is down a game in this series, so if he does lose this, he's going to be dropping the series to Energized 3-1. So this is all or nothing for him, so he's really got to win this one. But the Greenskins are resurging. Now, Grom the Paunch and the River Troll Hag and the Trolls are all descending on this position. So the Plagueclaw Catapults could be shut down here. Granted, there are a lot of Skaven Slaves, as well as Ogres, and we do have the Grace here on the Bell, who, oh, he has the dreaded 13th spell. He has the dreaded 13th spell, dudes. That is some serious shit. So I think we're going to be seeing it. Oh my god, I really, really, really hope Soothsayer uses it like back here on top of the Spider Riders and the Squigs. Yeah, because those catapults are shut down, and that kind of is creeping the balance of power back a little bit. Skaven army does have a couple of Rat Ogres. The Shock Collar plus the Unholy Clamor, giving them a pretty nice boon of stats and leadership and melee attack and all that sort of good stuff. The Grey Seer playing a little bit in the danger zone. Grom the Paunch appears to be working on the Grey Seer. Stone Trolls are also dropping some big shots, but the Packmaster is providing some very, very necessary armor piercing to drag down these characters. And you can see Soothsayer with the old retreat, the catapult. They're waddling away, trying to get some distance. As you can see, the Skaven defensive forces are starting to buckle. This looks like it could be potentially a Greenskin comeback here as the balance of power goes back to the middle. Whereas a moment ago, the Skaven certainly had a pretty solid advantage, but the dreaded 13th spell will have to do it. Now, the Skaven still do have some tools to deal with Grom the Paunch. The Packmaster himself being a very, very good hard counter. He regenerates, he does poison, he has great AP, great charge bonus. But again, you kind of have to kill everything else here. This is a really, really close match. Now, Plagueclaw Catapult back online now, ripping some shots into the Goblin Wolf Rider Archers who are trying to juke it, although they take a square hit right in the face, man. Ooh, that is some serious stuff. And the Dirked Squighoppers now potentially running for the hills. They were trying to shut down the Plagueclaw Catapults, but who knows how that'll go. Good opportunity here for the Skaven to isolate the Giant River Troll Hag. Skaven does have some mobility, I believe. I think there's some Gutter Runners, maybe some Wolf Rats kind of lurking on the battlefield. This is a really, really scrappy fight, but he has the tools to break and chase down the Giant River Troll Hag, most likely. And Grom the Paunch, without monstrous support, isn't going to be able to deal with that. Oh, look like a Scorch going down here from the Grey Seer. Nice one. Ooh, look at that. Beautiful damage on those goblins. Will the Greenskins be able to rally the Giant River Troll Hag? Will the Lunch Lady be back once more in the deep to rally the Skaven hordes? Or excuse me, the Greenskin hordes, we'll find out. Grom the Paunch coming over here trying to rally her as well, which is certainly a good play. It looks like she should be coming back. The healing is going. Plenty of room for the healing cap, so that's certainly a very, very nice feeling. And the Grey Seer Plague, he's just ringing that bell, man. And it looks like one catapult is officially offline. The other one is quite functional still, which is really bad for the Greenskins in the late game. So all those little haggard goblins and units that are trying to come back are just going to get bombarded. You know, he could even probably shoot the Plagueclaw Catapult at the Giant River Troll Hag to keep her from coming back. Just the fact that something is being shot by artillery and things like that is very, very strong. Packmaster and the old Grey Seer, giving the 1-2 punch here to Grom the Paunch. Orc Boy's getting to Grey Duns, but the Packmaster is a very swift rat. He is the big rat who makes all the rules, and he can certainly pick his engagements if he wants to. Giant River Troll Hag making her way back in. Balance Fire does kind of creep back a little bit. Ammunition is running sparse on the Plagueclaw Catapult, which certainly feels good. But it's going to be really tough to deal with the Packmaster, the Grey Seer, and who knows what Sooth is saving in the back pocket. Like, if he has the dreaded 13th spell, he could be saving that for a final fight in which Grom the Paunch and the Hag actually have to stay in combat because of obviously the engagement rules and things like that. Let's look around the battlefield. Yeah, there's not much left. I have a feeling he has that. I really do. Like, I feel like the dreaded 13th spell is waiting. And it's one of the only times during the casting of Total War Warhammer I can say the word dreaded or dread. You have Dread Saurian and, of course, this spell. But yeah, Giant River Troll hat getting broken. Grom the Paunch trying to be the big chungus that everyone needs here, but he is struggling. Lucky Banner is active. You can see melee attack and damage resist going down. Plague Claw Catapult going after those units. And the Packmaster is most certainly going to be hunting these units. And if Soothsayer wins this, we're going to be going to Game 5. And it certainly looks like the current state of the game is favoring the Dark Lord Sooth. Grom the Paunch, 1700 HP, down to 1400 after a ruthless attack there from the Packmaster. Going to be trying to shut down this chariot, but I really don't think Greenskins have anything left. Like, it's Grom the Paunch versus the world at this point. And yeah, Packmaster and the Gracier ramming him with the bell. And that is going to be GG, so my apologies about the lag. Hopefully you guys still were able to piece that game together with the slideshows that were happening with the dreaded California internet. But yeah, it seems like it's stable now. It seems... Dread Spheres? Oh, that's true. Yeah, you got that too. Yeah, I forgot about that. Well played. That was a super weird build. I really... When I first saw that, I did not think that Soothsayer was going to have much of a chance, like based on his build with the double catapult. But yeah, like poor value on catapults. Mortars got really poor value. That's the cool part about this build. But somehow, like just with his ogres and his Gracier and Packmaster, he was able to defeat the Greenskin battle lines. I think the Spider Rider play might have been a little bit suboptimal in some areas. Not to say that Energize played badly. Certainly played better than I would have. But yeah, I think that was part of it. No rule breaks today. No, none. Because it's a replay stream. And if there were rule breaks, they would have told me before. So now we got a tied series. We're going to a rubber match, baby. Let's go deep. Have some fun. Queek Headtaker, thank you for the $50, man. That is super generous, brother. Been watching your head-to-heads with King and Sotek. Love the VODs. Good luck to all the players today. Keep up the good work. I'll get back to head-to-head soon. Check the players' lag switches. I know. They're doing it through the replays. Dude, Queek Headtaker coming in. A little Skaven bias. Of course, there was a Skaven victory, so I can imagine Queek himself would be quite hyped about that. But yeah, GG. Now we load into the next match, my friends. Does Celastra have dreadlocks? I don't think so. Does she? This stream is armed and fully operational. I think Total War Warhammer would need a US versus Europe tournament. Turin plays as a double agent for both sides to salute his Italian and Polish connections. That's pretty fun, Andy. You know, that would actually be fun. Something like that could be cool. I'm trying to think of the best way to do it. Yeah, it's tricky. Because, like, how do you decide who gets to be on what team? Like, it feels bad because a lot of people want to be involved, you know, in events like that. But yeah, I think a regional tournaments is fun. I think it's cool. Yeah. So now let us load in. Soothsayer 2 wins, Energize 2 wins. We're going to Game 5, baby. Let's butter some bread. So what is the matchup going to be for Game 5? It's going to be, Vampire Coast versus Dark Elves. Soothsayer on Dark Elves against Vampire Coast. How did that happen? All right, well, this should be very interesting. And we're on Pillar of Bone, so it's like a knockdown, drag-out, small map. Oh, man. Wouldn't Queek just be jealous that some other rat is getting prestige? Yeah, probably. Hey, Queek Headtaker, though, man. Thank you so much for the donations. I got to get back to doing head-to-heads. Those are really fun. Yeah, those are fun streams. Fun indeed. So this is going to be on Pillar of Bone, Game 5. It's going to be Dark Elves versus Vampire Coast, which I can kind of see Dark Elves being a little bit better on the smaller map here. I mean, not better than Coast, but better off than they would be on a bigger map. All right. So here we have it, my friends. Let's take a look. So here, the Druki, Talaxla and Soothsayer. He's going to be coming in with the Supreme Sorceress of Fire. A front battle line of Bleak Swords backed up by quad shielded Dark Shard. Oh man, this is like a Warhammer 2 launch build. In the back, he's got Dark Riders. He's got some Witch Elves as well on the flanks for some rampaging. So if like Morgul's or something tries to push through and shut you down, you got some rampage. Double Dark Rider hiding up in the hills, and that is it. Look how wide and thick this build is. Oh my god. We do also have Cold One Knights. Cold One Knights are a very, very cool looking unit. Yeah, against grabs, things like that. Luther Harkin, they can do some work. So for the Vampire Coast, we do have Luther Harkin here. The front battle line is going to be Zombie Pirate Deckhand mobs. We've got 2 bombers, 2 handgun mobs, triple mortar, which certainly seems very well prepared for the Dark Shards. I'm actually immediately concerned for Soothsayer's Dark Shards, seeing triple mortars. No, we've been live for about 2 hours. We just had the stream crash, so maybe it just like refreshed the time frame or something. I don't know, hard to say. A couple halberds in the back. And what is with animated Hulks lately? Why are people doing this? Why are we seeing Hulks? Why do people... I guess they're good against a cheap like screen against cavalry and things like that, but I don't know, man. I'm not on that Hulk train. I am not about that life. So here it comes, my friends. The dreaded Druki advancing on. 1,000,000 dark shards to boot. It looks like there are some dogs hidden for energized in the back. He's got some scurvy doggos. All hail the mighty. You guys want that? You want some tattered sail shanties? Dark shards going down. Now that's one way the game could be thrown. If he's not careful and like 2 or 3 dark shards get to pound him for a moment, Luther Harkin can just straight up die. Yeah, there's no Medusas, alas. You can't always have what you want. The dreaded Medusas, I know. The Hulks, man, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. Why people are bringing Hulks. I don't know what planet we're on. But apparently people like them. I've been seeing them so much lately. God, look at the mortars just wrecking those dark shards. That hurts my soul. Because dark shards are such a cool unit. There's like badass dark elves with like crossbows and shields. I mean, come on. Doesn't get much better. They're like breachers from 40k. So cool. Anyway, shooting at Luther. Now the main Druki battle line is advancing. It's going to be some pirate on pirate action. Anticity saying in chat, I'm not much of a fan of Hulks anymore. Going back to the guns. Yeah, I feel like Hulks just always lose you the game. So here comes a big burning head. Oh, that's just what Soothsayer needed. Because like so much was going rough for him with those mortars, but just like cooking the goose of this deckhand mob, which means that these bleak swords will probably get in relatively quickly. However, bombers, despite being nerfed, are still pretty decent, but yeah, the mortar's still raining away. Just keep focusing down those dark shards, but here comes a big flank overload. Oh my god, the burning head goes through the dread spears on the end and cooks him. Oh, that's so unfortunate. And now we have dark shards with shields shooting into the zombie pirate gunnery mobs. So bombers taking a little bit of damage from that, but the dark shards, you know, they all made it, more or less, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I think the 5th one is over here, so Sooth better bring these guys in, or else he's going to have some tactical reserves in the late game. We'll see how that goes. But the Dark Riders were committed to a heavy rush, and oh look, he found an opening! Soothsayer! The cunning Slann found an opening in the ranks, and he gets in there and just gets right onto the black spot while he then screens out the crappy animated Hulks, who probably would lose to some bleak swords here. But he's able to get into the gun line early, which is definitely very nice. Over here on the flank, we have Luther Harkin going for the kill against the Supreme Sorcerer. Certainly a good call. She's very, very easy to snipe, but there are a fair amount of dark shards that are going to be turning about face and ripping shots. So if Luther isn't careful, he could eat a ton of ammo right now, and there's some Cold Knights coming as well. That's pretty much one of the only units back here that the Dark Elves can actually use to fend off your boy Luther Harkin. Luther's still trying to goon that character. Cold Knights will be rallied back in. Sorcerer's trying to juke. In the meantime, the Vampire Coast battle line seems to be holding. Those Witch Elves getting into the battle lines was really, really good. The black spots going down, bombers are getting a little bit low, and ooh, another big burning head. This could be Value City. Luther Harkin taking quite a bit of damage too, but that burning head able to roast those bombers and also get into the gunnery mob and pretty much eviscerate both those units. Burning head's so good in this matchup. But Scurvy Dogs coming out of nowhere, able to charge into the Dark Shards, but it looks like the Cold Knights are able to bounce over there, holding a lot of responsibilities there. They've been having to deal with a ton of threats here, but the Scurvy Doggos should potentially get chased down by some Dark Riders. That is the most efficient way to deal with them. Cold Knights cannot keep up with them, so Vampire Coast still has most of their mortars online, it looks like 1, 2, but some Dark Riders have gotten back here. Fireball going into the Vampire Fleet Captain, very strong, but now you can see Energized has set his sights onto the Supreme Sorceress of Fire once again as the Dark Shard lines continue to pour in and do some substantial damage. But Luther's, he's looking for it, man. We'll see if she's able to get away. She does pull back to the Cold Knights. Very, very good control there by Sooth, and I honestly feel like this is a hard matchup for the Dark Elves, and he seems to be doing a very, very solid job with his burning heads. As a matter of fact, Bounce of Power pulls back to the middle. It was Coast favored for quite some time, but now we see the animated Hulks just dying to Blackheart Corsairs and random Bleak Swords in the backfield, which is just classic stuff, Yeah, burning heads really, really nasty. 2 mortar teams still online at this point. The bombers are starting to run out of steam, which means the Dark Shards, all of whom are still going. Look at this, a full unit of Dark Shards here, full ammo. The dreaded tactical reserves are coming in and melting the Hulks. Oh, there's one Hulk unit here that still stands, still draws breath. One Hulk draws breath here in Moria. Supreme Sorceress of Death being blasted by the shriek from Luther, who I would imagine is going to be sitting with his pistol. Yeah, definitely wants to just get that Supreme Sorceress off the battlefield. Those burning heads have just been so nasty. But man, oh man, 2 Dark Shards ripping full volleys here into the animated Hulks is going to be pretty gross for sure. Here it comes. Ooh, yeah, Hulks, they're not having a good time, man. They are getting blasted. Nice and good, like Dread Spears moving in. Yeah, that's a lot of firepower though, man. And honestly, Luther, if he has to deal with a ton of Dark Shards, like all of them are still aligned despite the triple mortars, even this one over here. But Luther finally getting his prey. He's able to catch that Supreme Sorceress who's terrified, and I would imagine he's going to be shooting his pistol as well. Yep, she's down to -16, probably might even shatter here. However, there are some Dark Riders coming in trying to intercept, but this is going to be one of those classic Vampire Coast games where Luther Harkin is going to have to carry, right? Because everything else is going to be dead. Animated Hulks dying horribly to pretty much chaff infantry, And now we have the Vampire Fleet Captain standing alone. Alright, stand alone. You guys remember that? Good old early 2000s new metal. Disturbed. Avenged Sevenfold. You guys remember that shit? Crazy times. Hey, Ledron, thank you again. We'll play some sea shanties if I play Vampire Coast in the FFA after this. So Zombie Park Gunnery Mob's ripping some shots into the back of these Cold One Knights. Luther Harkin, ya boy, coming back. But he's got a lot to put on his back here. But you know what? Depending on the summons, if Energized has a lot of summons, that could actually be problems for the Dark Elves. Like, if he's able to shut down these Dark Shards are the biggest problem. Luther just needs to fly over here and kill these ones. They're healthy, they have a shit ton of ammo. Although, guys, they're still Cold One Knights. That is a big problem as well. The animated Hulks are crumbling. They're at 0 leadership. Looks like Cold One Knights might want to charge in and just finish them off. Granted, there are halberds here, so probably not worth it. And a lot of crossbow fire. A lot of crossbow fire. Really starting to add up. But yeah, Luther's going to go over here. Probably start eyeing the Dark Shards. Maybe getting a breath attack down the pipe. Yeah, I think that's what he's probably thinking about. Yeah, going to be going for those Dark Shards. Yep, here comes a breath attack. We'll see if Soothsayer can dodge it. I don't know if he notices it. It's going to hurt. It's not as bad as a dragon breath attack, but it looks like for some reason the breath attack got canceled. Here it comes, and yeah, really good. Takes out a handful of models. Looks like Sooth tried to dodge it at the last second. They still have 53 of 68, though. That's a lot of stopping power, man. Blackheart Corsairs moving in, trying to fight the Hulks who are now in critical binding. So those Hulks trying to prove me wrong. They're like, Turin, we're going to do well. You just watch. We're going to carry this game into the sunset. Yeah. Oh, my God. If you guys want to see something funny, go to YouTube and search, like, a Godsmack, whatever that sound is, that song. If you search people trying to do that at karaoke, it's so funny. Oh, my God. There's, like, a fail compilation of it. I would show you on the stream, but this... I don't know. The background music would probably get my stream shut down. YouTube's really strict about that shit. Dark Riders and Bleak Swords fighting the good fight. Here comes some Dark Shards ripping into Luther Harkin. And, yeah, this is looking a little bit scary. The fact that the Vampire Captain is still alive and Luther Harkin's still going. The Dark Shards really need to punish something right now. They need to just, like, butter some serious bread because it seems like Energized is going to pull this out. I actually really thought that, based on seeing it, the Dark Elves were, but it looks like they're going to get slapped with army losses. And that was a valiant effort, mind you. But in the end, that is going to be a victory for Energized. He will be winning the series 3-2. Yeah. Oh, my God. What a game, man. What a game. Supreme Sorceress must have gotten pretty good value. Yeah, about 1,000, a couple Burning Heads. The Dark Shards were really interesting, but the Triple Mortar sucks. But, you know, the Hulks, though they didn't get good value, they survived at the end and made me eat my words. They're like, we survived, dude. Yeah. Is it Godsmack? Yeah, sorry. It's all the same. Godsmack, Disturbed, whatever. It's like, they're like the same thing. Oh, yeah. Good GG. It's a hard matchup, you know? And in the end, Energized is going to be claiming victory. Great games. It's a 3-2 series. Both players worthy of the throne there. I actually thought Dark Elves were going to win that. I thought Dark Elves were going to win that 100%. Luther Harkin, though, was very healthy, and the fact that the Vampire Caster was still alive was a big problem. Luther only got 1,500, but the Hulks lived. Hulks OP, yeah. No, of course, I should bite my tongue about the Hulks, huh? They're just so freaking haggard. Oh, my God. Well, GG! That is going to be it for the replays for today. We had 2 amazing best of 5s. And now we're going to go and do an FFA. So for anyone who's interested in joining the FFA, of course, the ceremonial closeout to the stream, please do come join. Yeah, we'll do it. That'll be that, my friends. Thanks again. All right, so the game name is going to be Turin FFA, passwords 123. As somebody who likes both bands, I feel attacked. You know, I like those bands too, Pone. Doesn't mean I can't make fun of them here. This is our build from yesterday's stream, where the Dowie came in numbers. Oh shit, we don't need the condom wolf that big. We can get a small condom here. There we go. All right. We got Professor Pone. Let's do this city. The city battle is always really fun. Volkmar the Grim, yeah, Volkmar is one of my favorite characters. He's so good. Just feels so good using him. Yeah, no worries, Urin. If your internet's giving you problems, I appreciate you sitting out to not troll us here. All right, so we got Razor, we got Villains, we got Prof Pone. Allegron, okay. Well, it's over. I have to play Sartosa. Thank you for a $100 donation, bro. God, I really hope that's no sweat off your back, because that is super generous, man. Oh my God, Allegron dictating this FFA. Play Sartosa, you got it. Now, next question for you, Allegron. Do you want me to play a Sartosa build that has a chance of winning, or do you want me to go like full meme? And I mean, who doesn't want to see Sartosa? Come on. Like, do you want living pirates? Do you want all living? You want an all living army with a little bit of undead support? Like, what are you feeling? Puggington, you tried this. Oh, I feel bad, man. I'll drop a link. If we have any mods in chat, if you guys could drop a link to the my multiplayer Discord, that'd be greatly appreciated. If not, I'll drop it here. I'm looking Eledron in chat. I'm reading for your request. Yeah, we'll play the sea shanty while we're in the battle. We'll play it during the army setup as is customary. Do you have a different name in chat, Eledron? Dude, thank you so much for the $100 donation, dude. Try hard, please. Okay, Felix says try hard, but all Hulks, dude. Don't make me do Hulks, please. Hey, Android Poetry, thank you. Eledron says, I want living pirates. Don't have to dominate the build, though. Okay. That's fair. The man has spoken. Aaron S is coming for blood. Okay, we have Lizardmen, we have Coast, and High Elves. Alright, so he wants living pirates, so we're going to get some Sartosa Free Company. You better start believing in ghost stories. Alright, you're in one. Oh man, this build is quite majestic. We have a lot of living pirates. You guys will be pleased for sure. One of my favorite things too is to get... Okay, we got High Elves. We have living pirates. We'll put army limits on our unit caps on. It's fine. So, you know, I feel like if you're going with these guys too... Yeah, we got the goodness. He paid the lizard trinkets for sure. Okay, Coast High Elves. What abilities do you want to use? Spiteful Shot. Do we need magic damage? Tide Call is probably fine with Van Geists. Yeah. Don't worry, dude. Don't worry. Lore of the Deep is being satisfied. So this map is interesting for a couple of reasons. Okay, that looks fine. Let's go ahead and get some Krabby Patties, because I know people love crabs. This build is very, very strange. I don't know how I'm going to defend myself. You know what? Do I need extra powder for any reason? Not really. Aaron Essa doesn't care about that shit. I won't forget this. I won't forget the shanty. You know, I'm actually going to bind the shanty, like a short clip of it to my little button here, so I can play it when Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. All hail the mighty. All right. Eledron, thank you, man. Says, I went to TGY for the army recently, so I have a ton of extra cash. Okay, man. I don't feel so bad now. Thank you. I really do appreciate that. And stay safe, dude. I got Lore of the Deep. It's mandatory. It's here. I have Van Geist Revenge and Tide Call. A bloat? Oh, no. The bloat's going to be... Okay, fine. One bloated corpse. I can do one. All hail the mighty. I feel like I need, like... Need something. Yeah. Is that bloat just gonna, like, pop my own shit? Whatever. Let's throw some chevrons on these bad boys. Alright, here we go. Bloats for the bloat god. So we have a pretty cool army. It's got some decent fundamentals for sure. Shetland Apache. There goes my hero. Thank you for the donation, Shetland. Really appreciate it. Hope you're doing well. I'm playing in your Warband League, my dreaded Vampire Coast Legion. I'm playing against Papa Palpatine's Chaos this weekend. Thanks for hosting it. It's been fun. And Caviara. Hey, Turin, any idea if there's a tournament player from Finland? Preferably one who participates in your games. Ooh, yeah. Who's from Finland? There's... All right, let's see what we can do here. Okay. Okay. I can work with this. Oh my god. This is just the worst. Okay. I think we're good. You guys are going to have to keep me up to date. The dreaded... It could perhaps be because of Inauguration Day. Maybe there's a lot going on. People like watching streams and shit. You pwn, you bite your tongue. I think we're back. Okay. We got to get this game in for Eledron. It has to happen. So, for my army, I have standard living pirates. I also have free company. And then I also have some deck gunners in the back just to get some like real punch in my army. Because a lot of the living pirates are just kind of like a little glass cannony. We're back. We did it. We lost almost the whole stream, but a lot of people, we will remember you. Okay, so deck gunners. Oh my god, I didn't even think that somebody might vanguard on me. So where do I want to fight is the question. So up here on the high ground, we have Lizardmen. Okay. And here we have Professor Pone. I guess we just have to see what is going on here. So crabs are going to be on defensive duty, obviously, on the deck gunners. We have 1 unit of depth guard. What's really cool about depth guard with Aranessa is you actually give them bonus versus large, and it can be very strong. Okay, that's fine for now. Yeah, that's fine. All right. Yeah, it's a beautiful army for sure. High elves. We're good. Time to roll. I think we're set. Yeah, Aranessa's here. She can be group 3, and I will switch my guns into different control groups once the fighting actually starts. I usually do this just for organizing. Pone says you shall die. Only in FFA do you see such witchcraft. I know. Wait, why is the bloat in group 2? Aranessa should be in group 2. Bloat should be 3. Yeah. Okay, so for the high elves here, what do we have? Archers. You know, that's actually a lot of flying shit. Damn. For lizards, it's going to take me like 10 years to get over there. So what we'll do is we'll go meet Pone here, I think. We'll head on over this direction. And the bloat can be a tactical reserve. I think we'll hide it in the trees until later. Okay, hold on. Oh, we need to play the shanty? That's right. Here we go. The blood runs cold. We take our loot, but don't get old. There we go. It's me march after Professor Pone. So goddamn good. Yeah, this is how you properly play Coast. Needs to hide. Oh, hail the mighty, he's arising from the deep. Stupid birds. Tattered sails and incredible tales we're caught in endless sea. You need to pull back. The archers are going to get too good of an angle on us. I'll order it. He's got some nasty firepower. I don't have any healing, so it's like super scary. Free company. Okay, let's score you guys up. You little deck gunners can be here. Get the crabs and the crabs. If only I had a mortar or something. I got Lower the Deep. Sarchosa free company. So we can probably position them like so. And maybe get some good shots. It's hard to say. Yeah, the other players haven't started fighting yet. Turn up the shanty. I know, it's so good. We'll camp our caster here to get some Van Geese's revenge. I knew I should have brought a gunnery white for extra powder. Okay, can we reach you is the question. I think we can. Let's get these guys over here so they're not like all in one spot. Can move you guys up like so. We can't quite draw a line of sight, which is frustrating. The Everqueen scorecard. We'll move our militia up. Am I getting flanked by anything? No, it doesn't look like it. Okay. So let's pull around the corner here. Like I said, we have the caster. We do have the Spearfisher's net too, so we have some options. Yeah, Everqueen scorecard are actually getting popped pretty good. Alright, let's send in our pirates to fight the spearmen. And then when the Everqueen scorecard get in position, we can drop a All Hail the Mighty. We need to wait for them to stop moving though. Oh god, that's gonna hurt. Okay, well, let's see how this goes. Okay, pirates are engaged. Looks like the chain lightning didn't do that much actually. That's fine. All right, so we're ripping some shots. This is good. Our pirates are going. Let's get Aranessa in there. Looks like we're like losing the spearmen, which is interesting. Oh my God, the lizardmen! They're coming. The lizards are coming. The lizards are coming. Let's move our deck gunners in this alley and see if we can get some good shots here. And it's not time to hail the mighty yet. We need to wait to get some value. Oh, you know how we can really hail the mighty? Hold on. I have an awesome idea. So we're going to net with Aranessa. How are our deck hunters doing? Holy shit, there's Cav coming. Okay. Some clever girls. Get you guys engaged. Get the deck hunters back. We got to watch out. These dudes are pressuring in. The crab should be able to peel, no problem for those. Okay, pirates should be winning these respective fights. Pone's falling back. And the deck hunters, like I said, can get in this alley here. Let's get our pirates moving in to fight those feral cold ones. I could bloat them, but I don't think it's worth it. We're going to send the bloat on a secret agent mission over here. So these spearmen are broken, which is awesome. Yeah, very cool. Those feral cold ones are just not breaking, though. God damn, dude. I got, like, crabs beating on them and, like, infantry beating on them. This is a good opportunity to move our deck hunters into open field so we can, like, actually shoot things. So let's do this. Okay, let's put them in a group together. The pirates are chilling. We can send some pirates to go, like, serve as a distraction carnifex. You guys can chase. How's our little position doing over here? Okay, so let's move all of you guys over there. Let's move you guys here. Just get everyone going here for now. Okay, let's creep along this side and be a true pirate. Okay. Now, what's the range on this? Oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god, Dread Saurian. Oh! Oh god, Dread Saurian! So much for that whole plan. My poor pirates are just so out of position. I don't even know what the other vampire coast is doing. I think he's just AFK over there. Or maybe he's just waiting for this fighting to resolve, which is unfortunate for him. Okay, deck hunters are shooting. Form ranks, you scurvy dogs! Form ranks! Pull the crabs in. We got a crabbo. We got a crabbo stop him. Okay. I have tide call. Alright. So, the internet doesn't seem terribly... It doesn't seem... It doesn't seem like it wants to work today. So what we're going to do, guys, I'm going to go record that FFA. I'm going to go play it. I'm going to do it offline so it doesn't lag. And then I'll put it up for you, Eledron. So you'll get your own custom replay there. Thank you for the donation, but sorry about that not working. But I'll go and record Aranessa one for you right now, and we'll get that bad boy up soon. We're back, but like it's just going to keep crashing. Like it seems like every 5 minutes it just like shits out. So it's kind of pointless, unfortunately. But yeah, thank you guys so much. Hopefully you enjoyed the stream despite some of the technical issues we had. God, I can't wait to move out of fucking shitty-ass Los Angeles. It's the worst. Oh. Eledron says it is acceptable. I'll put you in the title. Let's be like, this one's for you. But thanks again, guys. That's going to be the end of the stream because it's just going to keep having problems today. Yeah. GG's. Well, at least the beginning of the stream was fine. You guys got to see the glorious battles. Soothsayer, Energized, Lotus Moon, Showtime. Yeah, we had some good times. We had some good times earlier. Sorry about that, but it is what it is. We gotta roll with it. So, thank you again, guys, for all of your support. It really does mean a lot. Thanks to Bubba's Big Blast, Caviara, Shetland Apache, Eledron, dude. Thank you so much, man, for that 100. And again, stay safe in the army over there, and we'll be doing it. Thank you, guys, for all your donations and support. All right, stream's crashing. I can't help it, Anakin. I'm too.